What will you do with the ability to be invisible? You feel like life is uneventful. That's when it happened. Mental prompt sounded, "Congratulations to the host for gaining invisibility. Start using this power to change your life. The price is 3 dog heads. During a surprise self-ability, I don't want to think about how to make money through this ability." The first thing that came to mind was that this ability was great. It's a perk, you find invisibility in your heart, and then it was gone. I can't see myself in the mirror. It's great. It's really invisible. So my life will be wonderful. You're starting to think about what to do with your stealth abilities. For example, go to the landlady's room and wait for Xiao or you to get off work. Wait for her to open the door and go in, slip in yourself. Come to think of it, a little apprehensive. But more than that, it's exciting. Get straight to the action, mainly to verify stealth capabilities. And not the other after stealth, you come to the lobby of the apartment, found the landlord mopping the floor. You stand in front of the landlord, posed in various provocative poses. No response from the landlord, immerse yourself in mopping the floor. The landlady is very beautiful though. But it's snarky, rent urging to got people to a nervous breakdown. Came behind the landlord and gave a direct slap. The landlord screamed, turned around quickly, and said he just wanted to shout when there were hooligans. The landlord was stunned, because there is no one. I'm hallucinating, I still ran into a ghost. The landlord hurried out, looked at the people who passed by. I felt a little more relaxed. You were in the card room, prepare to get angry with your boss. Often speak ill of yourself I didn't dare to provoke before. But now it's time for revenge. The owner of the chess and card room was already sleeping on a recliner. You went up and gave him a hard look. The boss snorted and got up from his chair. Cover your face and look around. Whoever beats me, even the 9th master, I dare to move. Hurry up and get me out, however, it is impossible to see who it is. He can only endure his anger, muttering hateful, gotta find someone to be angry. If you are thirsty, go to the room and drink a glass of water. You quickly entered the room early. A bubble of urine came to his teapot, then gloating and looking at the boss. When I came in, I held the teapot and drank it up. Just take a sip, it doesn't feel right. His face changed suddenly, bent over and vomited. What taste? What's going on with this tea? It's very relieving to watch. I think the stealth ability is too good. Wait until the evening, you open the door while the landlady comes home. Sneak right in. Eddie sat on the leather sofa at his house, blowing air conditioning. It felt comfortable. The landlord Kuji Ying Ying frowned. What a hell of a day. I didn't see anyone on the monitor. It seems that he is too tired and hallucinating. Take a cool shower to sober up. Your eyes light up. Follow QG Yue Ying into the bathroom. You see the little bench in the corner. Just sit down and start watching. 15 minutes later, you leave the landlord's house, although full of ice. And it's also uncomfortable when you're ready to go back to your room. Next door is Bat, a white-collar worker in a large company. Every time I talk to Xiao Yui, I feel happy both physically and mentally. I even want to be closer. And I don't dare to expect to associate with each other. The other party is good-looking, is still a white-collar worker with a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan. I'm just a wage earner. At most, it's just a thought. Now there is an opportunity to get up close and personal. You decide to be a guest at our UI's house, entered the room. This is the second time I have entered Xiao Yui's room. The first time was to change the light bulb for her. It was only a few minutes. This time I decided to be a guest for a while longer. The room is not big, but it was clean, tidy, and warm. A faint aroma wafted through the room. Yui closed the door. He threw off his coat and skirt, hanging on a hanger by the door. Then I walked into the bathroom. It's hot. Taking a shower after work is a must. You went into the bathroom. This time it's not just a blind look. Instead, let the 5 girls help themselves. You are like a Buddha. In your current state, there are no distractions in the heart. Xiao Yui came out and played with her phone. You're just standing there watching the screen. Xiao Yui was chatting with a male netizen. The content of the chat is miscellaneous. There is everything in the world. The content of the chat seems to be freewheeling. In fact, there is a hidden mystery. As a bystander, you see it very clearly. Xiao Yui is raising pigs. Wait until the pigs are fattened and then ga. It's a plain and clear gop, pork chop. To put it bluntly, it is to deceive the other party's feelings first, then borrow money for various reasons. The seemingly innocent and sunny college student turned out to be a liar. If not to see it with your own eyes, who would have thought? Who can believe it? Her affection for Xiao Yui suddenly disappeared without a trace. What about having a nice skin? The dirty things in my heart can't be compensated for by any beautiful skin. That's it. Such a girl. Don't want to get close. Nor did he dare to approach after Xiao Yui finished cheating. Open the refrigerator, pull out the milk and lean back on the couch and drink it. You have to be polite to her. I did one thing before leaving. Xiao Yui is almost finished with a box of yogurt. There's a little more to it. He poured the yogurt on himself, cocking his head and drinking. Suddenly drinking kefir, suddenly it tasted weird. Is it expire? It's strange that it was fine to drink just now. Why does this last taste so weird? A Yue throws the yogurt in the trash, open the door and throw out the garbage. You pulled away and left. You come home and lie in bed with some difficulty sleeping. Possess the ability to become invisible. I did something I didn't dare to do. I felt a lot of emotion in my heart. You have to rely on this ability to make your life better. Don't think about it yet. Sleep until midnight. You're woken up by the couple next door. You frown and get angry. It's so noisy every night. Wait, pack you up tomorrow night after waking up in the morning. You go to work at work. I wanted to take a day off, but the boss of the unit disagreed. The meaning is very clear. Come to work honestly. Otherwise, the bonus of the month will be deducted for the sake of the bonus. You rush to the unit. The so-called unit is a 5-star hotel in the city. The so-called boss is the security captain. Himself is the security guard of the hotel. Longshenj Hotel is very large. It is one of the few 5-star hotels in the city. As a security guard, the day-to-day job is to make rounds. Floor-by-floor patrols check for security and fire hazards. It's not an easy job. It's not a tiring ideal for young people who lie flat to do it. This hotel often has celebrities staying at it. There is exactly one today. When the big star Yui and was busy entering the hotel, you stealth and followed, then he went into the room with him. Yui and began to look at her phone, chatting with people in the circle and gossiping. Whoever sleeps with the director, you're watching from the sidelines too. I also ate a lot of melons to avoid being perceived as absenteeism. You then leave Liu Ayan's room, return to the rental after work. Go to the couple's room tonight as planned after stealth. He came out and looked at the time. It's almost time for the little couple to go home, squatting in the corner of the hallway. Waiting for the target to appear, I am more familiar with this young couple. The man's name is Xiao Kun, the woman's name is Xiaogan. Both are in their 20s. Xiao Kun also always likes to sing. Dump and play basketball in the room. I don't care about others at all. Xiaogan would greet her every time she saw her, even if he doesn't speak. He smiles and nods. Clear eyes exude love for life. And courtesy to neighbors, I have a good impression of Xiaogan. It's a very easygoing girl. Xiao Kun came back first. You didn't follow up after opening the door, wait for Xiaogan to come back before taking action. The landlady started mopping the floor in the hallway. It's her homework every day. Look at the way the landlady bends over and mops the floor. You look closer. Bruises on the neck were found. Is this being domestic violence? Think of the landlady doing nothing all day. Always ask the landlady for money. You can also understand why you are always pushing yourself for rent. It seems that the landlady is not easy either. In front of the tenant, he is strong and domineering. The landlady is at home. He was the target of violence against the landlady. It's the victim. The landlady cleaned up and went into the room. You follow up after you go. The landlady came back and ordered me to give me 5,000 quickly. How did you lose again? Don't talk nonsense. Give it to me. The landlady is directly a slap in the face. Not so much. Give as much as you want. The courier and the security guard's rent. Hurry up and ask for it. What you find out is true. I sighed inwardly. The world is really complicated that you can't see through them for what he is. It can be seen better when you are invisible. You push the vase on the fridge with your hand straight down. Smashed on top of the landlady's head, a scream, grinning with a headache. I felt a lot relieved. The landlady was very angry at me. What bad luck I had you leave the room. Little Reed is back. He works at the supermarket downstairs. Leave work at 8 p.m. every night. Little Red opened the door and entered the house. You follow and blend in. This is my first time entering the room for this little couple. The first sensation is heat. Didn't turn on the air conditioning. The second feeling is messy. There are still unwashed dishes and chopsticks on the dining table. Xiaogan took off her coat after entering the house. It's too hot. The room without air conditioning was very hot even at night. Xiaogan saw Xiao Hong come back. There is nothing to say either. Sitting in front of the computer and playing a game, Red starts cooking. Dinner was simple, a bowl of rice, a stir-fry. Xiao Kun put down the game in his hand, eat at the table with Xiaogan. The two didn't talk much. The atmosphere was a little dreary. When you're almost done, Xiaogan asked Brother Kun, "Did you find a job? There is no such thing as a large number of college students who have lost their jobs in recent years. Not to mention an ordinary person like me." Little Red didn't mean to blame. Let Xiao Kun not worry, slowly looking for Xiao Kun and Hum back in front of the computer to play the game. You're a little envious, can have such a good girlfriend as Xiaogan. Will Xiao Kun still look for a job with this kind of goods? All the tenants know his movements except for going to an internet CI if he's not going anywhere else. Xiaogan didn't know about the whole building after eating. Xiaogan did not clean up the dishes and chopsticks. He was so tired, the job in the supermarket is not easy. Work 12 hours a day, even if you just stand and do nothing. Ordinary people can't bear it. Of course, there are benefits supermarket with lunch at noon. Her Red can save some money. Xiaogan lay on the bed and quickly fell asleep. Gun is also immersed in computer games and fights. You have a hint of inexplicable sorrow. I feel very worthless for Xiaogan. How could such a good girl fall in love with Shao Kahn? Don't say anything about others. He is much stronger than Shao Kahn. However, things in the world are sometimes so unfair. Ace comeback like Shao Kahn can have a girl take a fancy to him. He's still hardworking, but he is still single. You are extremely unbalanced. There is a strong urge to hit people. I can rush over. Pull Shao Kahn out in front of the computer screen. Beat it hard. Shao Kahn is leaning on the gaming chair to play a game. You go up and grab the backrest and pull it down. Shao Kahn fell directly to the ground. It's embarrassing what's going on. Is there something wrong with the chair? Shao Kahn continued to play computer games. Red was already asleep. You sit on the couch and start to get bored. I want to leave but can't find a chance to go out. You can't open the door yourself. I can only go to the little red room and lie down directly. Shao Kahn hugged herself. You just froze. This is to think of yourself as Shao Kahn. Little meat is half asleep, muttered Brother Kahn. You're pretty early today. Let's cuddle and sleep together. You can only hold on easily. Nervous and heartbeat after all. He is not Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn is still playing on the computer outside, but fortunately, the room was dark. Shao Kahn couldn't see clearly when she opened her eyes. It's the middle of the night. Shao Kahn is finally sleepy, yawned a few times. Turn off the computer. I don't wash either. Go straight into the house. You quickly push Red away. Shao Kahn woke up and opened her eyes to see Shao Kahn coming in. I'm wondering if you're not in bed. How did you suddenly just come in? What are you talking nonsense? I've been playing the game just now. Little Reed's heart shook. Turn on the lights quickly. Look at the surroundings and see nothing. It's confusing. Was he just dreaming? Shao Kahn felt that it could only be like this. And it doesn't feel like it's Shao Kahn. It's the next door neighbor, little security guard. Why do you dream of holding him? Although there is a little, after all. I think the little security guard is working hard. There are no bad habits. But there are also expectations. Shao Kahn gets a job. You can still go on, come to sleep on the couch. Shao Kahn went to the bathroom in the middle of the night. You feel me? The guy uses cheap cosmetics from Little Raid. Grind your face into clown makeup. Wait for Shao Kahn to enter the bathroom. Turn on the light, and you make a weird move towards Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn's eyes widened instantly. Slumped on the ground, screaming and screaming ghosts. Shao Kahn was directly frightened and fainted. You cover your mouth and laugh. It's a lot of relief. Shao Kahn came out and saw Shao Kahn fainting, hurriedly stepped forward. What happened to you? Wake up. Shao Kahn woke up and was scared. But found that there was nothing around. Don't dare to continue at home. Go and spend the night with your good brothers. Leave Shao Kahn alone at home. Little Reed was angry. I know why Shao Kahn fainted. Also put yourself at home. I was disappointed. You know at this time that Shao Kahn is very fragile in her heart now. Can I seize this opportunity? You take the opportunity to get out. And knock on the door. Little Red sees that it's you. Open the door and ask if anything is wrong. Just now I heard someone screaming. I thought something was wrong with you. It's okay. Shao Kahn went out. Then you're home alone tonight. Yes, Shao Kahn didn't say anything. The doors are not closed either. Didn't let myself into the house either. You're bold enough to walk into the room. Little Reed's heart beats faster. Didn't say anything. You sigh in your heart. Really take this opportunity. Shao Kahn is now disappointed. It seems that I usually feel good about myself. You said directly, then I'll be with you tonight. Or you go to my house, I'll go to your house. Little Red follows you to the house. It feels good, although plain, but at least clean. Your heart is excited if there is no stealth ability. I can't pick it up at all. Early the next morning, Shao Kahn left early. You don't have any feelings for Shao Kahn. Nature is impossible to pursue with such an ability. Sooner or later, he will counterattack naturally. Look for a better one. You get up and go out. Look at the outside world. Get ready to make a difference. Set goals for yourself. Use this ability today to start making money the next day. I went to work as usual. Employees are not allowed to enter or exit from the lobby of the hotel. The back door of the hotel has a dedicated staff access. Guides are also not allowed on the stairs or downstairs. The hotel's main elevator has a dedicated staff elevator. It's the time to go to work. The staff elevator door was crowded with people. Lu Chen was lucky. Just squeezed into the employee elevator. The elevator beeped and was overcrowded. Everyone looked at each other. No one wants to go down. At this time, a man spoke. Zhao Yu, you go down. It was Gao Lifei, the deputy captain of the security team. Who spoke? He is very domineering. The security guards were afraid of him. What's more, he has a backstage. Ordinary people dare not provoke security guards. Zhao Yu immediately walked out of the elevator. He definitely didn't dare to offend Gao Lifei. The elevator is still overcrowded. Do call the police, Lu Chen. You go down. Gao Lifei spoke again. I wasn't the last one to come up. Why should I go down? Pooch down on Gao Lifei style very much. I don't want to swallow my anger. If I tell you to go down, go down. But so much nonsense. Gao Lifei, I look condescending. I'm not going to go down. If you don't go down, I'll throw you down. Gao Lifei glanced at the people around him. Several security guards rushed over. Directly pushed Lu Chen out of the elevator. Watched the elevator doors slowly close. Gao Life I smiled triumphantly. Compete with me. You also deserve Lu Chen to grit his teeth secretly. Gao Life Bai, you wait for me. I'll get you crawling out in 10 minutes after a shift change in the security department. Lu Chen secretly changed into an invisibility cloak in the toilet. When it's bent on fighting Gao Life I for revenge, Gao Life I must get some blood. Suddenly, it was difficult to get out of the evil anger in my heart. Housekeeping Department 64, Lu Chen finally found Gao Life I. This guy was chatting with the housekeeping manager. Jiang Sayuli, Lu Chen quietly came behind Gao Life I. Reach out and push hard. Gao Life I's body lost her balance. Bounced directly on Jiang X. Ayuli, Jiang X Ayuli was defenseless at all, was thrown to the ground by Gao Life I. Luckily, there was a thick carpet on the floor. Gao Life I, you bastard. Jiang X, Yuli scolded and pushed the other party away. Gao Life I was very puzzled. How could he suddenly pounce on himself? It's as if someone pushed themselves. He turned his head to watch. It's strange that there is no one. Gao Life I was still hesitating. Jiang X Ayuli has already done it. Punched and kicked Gao Life I was defenseless. There were a few bloody marks on his face. Jiang X Ayuli still doesn't understand her hatred, shook his hand and gave Gao Life I a slap. A sound of snapping echoed through the hallway. Gao Life I covered her face. While questioning Jiang X Ayuli, what are you doing? Jiang X Ayuli was so angry that her face turned pale. Gao Life I's nose said, what do you say I do? That you Gao Life I, I'm telling you, don't think you can do whatever you want with your cousin in your cover. Better to bully my aunt and grandmother. What the hell are you? Gao Life I was frightened by the other party's momentum. I don't dare to explain it anymore. Ash slipped away. Jiang X Ayuli is the housekeeping manager. He really didn't dare to offend. I saw that Gao Li flew away in ashes. Lu Chen didn't intend to let him go. Tailgating each other all the time, arrived at the top of the stairs. Gao Life I had just taken a step down the stairs suddenly. There was a force on the back. He lost his balance in an instant. The body fell down the stairs, straight down, rolled from the 16th floor to the 15th floor. Who did it? Gao Life I scolded angrily while covering his head. Look back, there was no one in the stairwell. What a fucking hit. Lu Chen smiled with satisfaction. Gao Life I finally saw blood. He sneaked back to his original bathroom. Changed into regular clothes, continued to swagger on duty. Gao Life I fell not lightly. He was carried directly to the infirmary, thankfully. It didn't hurt my bones, but the forehead and the back of the head were broken several times. The head was wrapped in a thick layer of gauze. A piece of news quickly spread through the hotel. The hotel will select the best employees. The list will be announced in the near future. Excellent staff of Rongshen Hotel, more than just an honor. There are more tangible benefits, not only to be able to get a raise. There are benefits in many aspects, such as year-end bonuses. The prize money alone is in the thousands. It can be said that it is both fame and fortune. Employees are talking who will be excellent, who will fall on such a good deed. Lu then prepared to lunches. Make your own. Jia Xiaoyu and Lu Chen participated in the application on the same day. Same day onboarding, so there's a natural sense of closeness. The two have been getting along quite well for several months. Jia Xiaoyu has a good image, good temperament, soon transferred to the hotel lobby as a front desk reception. The post is quite decent in a hotel, but there are also a lot of rules. There is often no time to buy food. Lu Chen took the initiative to take on the task of delivering food. I heard that the hotel is going to select outstanding employees. Do you have any hope? Jia Xiaoyu asked while eating. I guess it's pretty much the same, except for me, who is eligible to be elected excellent. Lu Chen responded. Jia Xiaoyu almost squirted the rice in his mouth. Lu Chen, you're really welcome. I was just kidding you. How do excellent employees take your turn? What backstage do you have? Who said that excellent employees must have a backstage? That it was going to be elected. Okay, Lu Chen, stop dreaming. The quota of your security team has long been occupied by Gao Life I. How can it be your turn? His cousin is the HR manager. What is your cousin? Isn't the HR manager amazing? I don't believe he can cover the sky with one hand. You probably don't know it yet. The selection of outstanding employees is not subject to personnel. Do you think Gao Life I could be elected? Gao Life I, what kind of thing is he? What is the personnel department? Jia Xiaoyu hurriedly looked at it privately. Make sure that no one lies on the side to rest assured. Don't talk nonsense. Beware of being expelled. I'm going to have to suffer a lot. Lu Chen originally didn't have the heart to select any excellent, but when he heard that the quota was set by Concubine Goryeo, the manager immediately changed his mind. This excellence must be fought for. Tell you if I get excellent, can you be my girlfriend? Lu Chen asked very seriously. Jia Xiaoyu tilted her head and thought about it. This can be considered. It's a good word. Just wait for my good news. Jia Xiaoyu became serious. Lu Chen, you must not drill the horns. There are some things that cannot be forced. The quota of your security team has been taken up by Gao Life I. You don't stand a chance. Lu Chen disagreed before the matter was announced. Anything is possible. Just wait for a miracle to happen. How can there be a miracle in such a thing? Gao Life, I will spit out the quota in his hand. It must be spit out. What kind of thing is Gao Life I? He also deserves to be selected as an outstanding employee. I think you're crazy, Jia Zhao. You no longer ignored Lu Chen. Lu Chen secretly made a decision. We must win over excellent employees. There will be no pie in the sky. You can only fight for it on your own. I'll get things done tonight. He can't influence the HR manager, though. But it's not a problem to sneak up on the list. I finally made it to the end of work. There was no rush home, hiding in the toilet and changing into an invisibility cloak, and ready to get your hands dirty for the setting of the interior of the hotel. He was very familiar. The administration of the entire hotel is concentrated on the 4th floor, like what the Ministry of Personnel, the Ministry of Finance, the Office of the Chairman, General Manager's Office, and so on. Lu Chen came to the 4th floor lightly. As an ordinary employee, there are very few opportunities to be able to enter the 4th floor. Lu Chen is different. He's a security guard. I often come to the 4th floor to inspect personnel, not around the corner of the hallway. Lu Chen often passed by the door. It's also a familiar road. The office door was open. Lu Chen looked inside. There was no one in the room. The screens of all computers are also black. It looks like it's off work. Lu Chen stepped in. Only then did I hear a slight voice. There is also a room inside the office. It is the office of the personnel manager. Lu Chen walked over to take a look. Liu Lei, the manager of the personnel department, is sitting at his desk drinking tea. There was also a female assistant next to her. Something is being reported. Lu Chen was secretly amused. It is rumored in the hotel that Liu Lei is good at working overtime. It seems to be true. There are also rumors Liu Lei worked overtime for another purpose. Some female employees are often left behind. She worked overtime together. It seems to be true. As for the content of overtime, the staff at the hotel know that, relying on the invisibility cloak on his side. Lu Chen didn't regard himself as an outsider, swaggered directly to Liu Lei's desk. The female assistant has a slender build, a proper professional suit. Her long jet black hair was coiled at the back of her head. Standard white-collar attire. This person Lu Chen knew. I can't remember the name exactly anyway. I often see it in the housekeeping department. What kind of notice does the HR department have? He is responsible for the distribution. Finished talking about work. Liu Lei still has no intention of getting off work. Chatted with the female assistant again. It can be seen that the female assistant is disgusted. But I had to deal with it carefully. One of Liu Lei's hands, intentionally or unintentionally, it was put on the shoulder of the female assistant. The latter tilted his head to look, a look of disgust. However, due to the gap in identity, the female assistant did not refuse. Liu Lei tasted the sweetness. More and more inches, the other hand is not on a steiger. Reached out and wrapped his arms around the other's waist. Lu Chen was not far from the two of them. He concealed Liu Lei's every movement clearly. The new rumors are true. This guy is really a pervert at this time. The hormones in Liu Lei's body soar rapidly. The two hands are no longer satisfied with the status quo. Began to grope and bridled on the female assistant, Mr. It's not good for you to be like this. The female assistant kept backing up. Seeing that the other party is disobedient, Liu Lei was a little annoyed. Both hands grabbed the female assistant's shoulders. I've missed you for a long time. You don't always shirk. There has to be a result today. Otherwise, I'll call someone. The female assistant shrunk, her body into a ball, minimized physical contact with Liu Lei sneered. Shouting hello you shout, I'll let you fuck off tomorrow. The female assistant really didn't dare to shout. He didn't want to lose his job. Liu Lei is even more. He presumptuous, grabbed the female assistant's body and pressed it to the floor. His strength is great. Directly put the two buttons on the suit of the female assistant, ripped off. The female assistant didn't dare to shout, but I struggled instinctively. In a panic, he directly pushed Liu Lei aside. The floor is covered with a thick carpet. Liu Lei didn't mind rolling on the ground. The other party's resistance aroused his bestiality. He smiled earnestly, grabbed the female assistant's overalls with both hands. Stare it down hard. Lu Chen really couldn't stand it anymore. Pick up the teapot on the table. Directly threw it on Liu Lei. Teapot down. Half of Liu Lei's clothes were soaked. At this time, he was already carried away by hormones. I thought I accidentally touched the teapot. Liu Lei took off his soaked clothes. He pounced on the female assistant again. The female assistant sat on the floor, hands on the ground. Keep going backwards. Liu Lei directly grabbed the other party's trouser legs. Hold down firmly, the trousers slipped straight to the knees. Liu Lei's eyes lit up, lunged at the female assistant again. There was a knock on the door outside. Who is so boring? I knocked on the door after work. Liu Lei roared in a low voice. There was anger in his tone. But I still let go of my hands. The female assistant took the opportunity to run to the outhouse, while tittying up your clothes as he walked towards the office door. There was no one outside. There was no one in the hallway either. The The female assistant fled, tears are gone, angrily slammed the door and left. Only Lu Chen was left in the office. He was knocking on the door. The female assistant was saved in time. Lu Chen locked the door. Start looking for lists and documents to select the best employees. He almost rummaged through the office, finally on Liu Lei's desk. On the documents for selecting the best employees, there is a list of outstanding employees on the file. There are 8 people in total, not the 10 as rumored, but the Goryeo Figo. However, it is on the list. He is the only good employee of the security team. It's exactly the same as the rumors. Lu Chen sat on his desk, look up at the ceiling. I've been silent for a long time. How can I get Gao Lifei's name removed? Change it to your own name. You can't just change it. Think about it. Lu Chen decided to use the stupidest method. For print a copy of the list, the name inside has been changed. Just do it. Lu Chen turned on the computer next to him. A copy was reprinted in the style of the list, replaced Gao Lifei's name with his own name. The original list was shredded and thrown into the trash. At this dumping, Lu Chen let out a sigh of relief, swaggered out of the personnel department back to the previous toilet. Take off the cloak of invisibility, changed into normal clothes. He didn't dare to wear an invisibility cloak on the street. As a transparent person, the odds of being hit by a car are too great. The hotel has a special staff canteen. Lu Chen usually eats in the cafeteria at the door of the cafeteria. Lu Chen met Gao Lifei, who also came to eat. This guy is the vice captain of the security team. There is also Yu Lei, the manager of the personnel department. On weekdays, he is full of energy, although concubine Goryeo had gauze wrapped around her head. The momentum is still there. I walked into the restaurant with my toes proud. A security guard named Wu Shuai carried a rice bowl to concubine Gei Lai. It's like a miscellaneous soldier. I saw Lu Chen coming towards him. Wu Shuai spoke first. Didn't you see Captain Gao coming to eat? Lu Chen didn't want to raise the bar with the other party, dodged to the side. Gao Lifei swaggered past him, didn't look at Lu Chen squarely. It was as if he was there, looking at Gao Lifei's back. Lu Chen secretly sneered. The heart says you're crazy, and other outstanding employees announced. There are times when you cry. Lu Chen returned home. I had a little dinner that I brought from the cafeteria. I thought I had to keep doing my job. It's time to be a guest at Sister May's house tonight. Look at the time, it's still early for Sister May to get off work. It's better to go to Zhao Yui first. Zhao Yui usually leaves work on time. It should be at home now. Lu Chen put on an invisibility cloak and went downstairs. The timing was just right. Our UI is cooking in the communal kitchen. The bedroom door was open. Lu Chen secretly entered the room. Zhao Yui seems to have just taken a shower. Long hair is wet. It has a faint scent of shampoo. The landlady opened the door and came out. See Zhao Yui cooking in the kitchen? I couldn't help but take a few more looks. Zhao Yui is a very enthusiastic person. Immediately greet the landlady with a smile. The landlady simply went into the kitchen, chatting with Zhao Yui inside, while watching the small Yui stir-fry. While praising her for her good cooking, Zhao Yui responded in a sweet voice. The landlady's heart seemed to melt. His expression became blurred. Lu Chen was secretly amused. This pair of men and women is really wonderful. Both of them are broken to the bone. One is blatantly bad. The other is the unobtrusive bad. The landlord may never think of it. The girl named Zhao Yui in front of her is a master of fraud. Zhao Yui, I would not have thought of it anyway. The witty and humorous landlady in front of him. He's a domestic violence maniac. Just shady guys together, courteous chat. Extremely dark humor. Zhao Yui finished cooking and brought it into the room. The landlady stared blankly. If Staymon invites, he will definitely accompany each other to dinner. However, Zhao Yui didn't mean that. The landlady was fortunate to be gone. Zhao Yui chatted online while eating. Lu Chen quietly leaned over. He was very interested in what the chat was about. As surpassed the interest in Zhao Yui itself, the content of the chat was very warm. It's like a couple who have been in love for many years. It can be seen that Zhao Yui's pig-killing plate is perfectly done. The other party has completely taken the bait. Zhao Yui's words and deeds are seen by the other party. It's so gentle and considerate, counterpart completely fell into the emotional trap woven by Zhao Yui. Sink deeper and deeper. Can't extricate yourself. Yui left her nets wide open for the time being. There is no intention of closing the net. He's obviously a master at making pig-killing plates. I can do it. Please enter the urn. I also know how to indulge in the desire to escape. The target was defenseless in the face of his sweet words. Lu Chen secretly admired Zhao Yui's patience, obviously. You can close the net, is still mobilizing the emotions of the other party. He's a master, a true master. You have to be really careful when dealing with this kind of woman. If you're not careful, you'll be sold by him. Zhao Yui, who had been chatting intently, suddenly frowned. He turned his head and sniffed carefully. It was as if I smelled a strange breath. A woman's perception is sometimes very sensitive. Lu Chen stood next to Zhao Yui. When the other party turned his head and sniffed at him, He was startled instinctively. He ducked his head to the side. A layer of cold sweat broke out suddenly. Could it be that the invisibility cloak has failed? There is still some part exposed impossible every time I wear an invisibility cloak. I am very careful. The areas that are easily exposed are well restricted for ease of movement. He tried to take off his normal clothes as much as he could. Only the underwear remains for the sake of ease of movement. Yue put down the keyboard, suddenly stood up. Lu Chen hurriedly squatted down. I didn't dare to make a sound. Could it really be discovered? Yue pulled out a bottle from the bathroom. I sprayed carefully in the room. The name has the words air freshener written on it. Lu Chen figured it out. The other party smelled a strange breath. Could it be because I didn't wash my feet today? The dialogue box of the DD computer flashed again. Yue rejoined the conversation. Lu Chen sat on the ground board. Look at the little RUI who is close at hand. Thin pajamas hide the hazy body. It's hard to think about it. Lu Chen's mouth was a little dry. He hated the pajamas. It's as if the scenery is clouded with a layer of fog. Its Harunik the flower cat in the corner aroused Lu Chen's interest. He tried to pick up the cat. Flower cat sleeps soundly. Nothing happened. He gently placed the cat next to Stamus. Reach out and grab the corner of your pajamas. Pull down hard. The thin pajamas slipped to the ground in an instant. Lu Chen quickly turned the corner of his clothes, placed it under the paws of the flower cat. He secretly hid in the distance. Xiao, I was so frightened that her face was pale, instinctively looked behind me. Nothing. Take a look below. The big cat is fiddling with the corners of her pajamas. Xiao Yue let out a sigh of relief. Pick up the big cat. Gently stroked a few times, then put the cat back in the corner. Lu Chen was squatting in the corner. I saw Xiao Yue walking towards him. My heart was pounding. Seiman bends down and puts the cat away. The palm of his hand stroked it gently. Flower cat's shiny fur. Lu Chen was close at hand. You could even feel the airflow of Xiao Yue's breathing. Exhale like an orchid. It made Lu Chen's face blush and his heart beat. He was sweating profusely. This kind of test is too cruel. It's murderous. Xiao Yue put on her pajamas again. Quickly dived into the chat. Lu Chen sat down on the ground. I just want to leave quickly. I've been in this environment for a long time. It's a huge ordeal. Take advantage of Xiao Yue's opportunity to go out and throw out the garbage. She exited the room. It was more than 10 p. Sister Mei is back. Take advantage of the opportunity to open the door. Lu Chen entered Sister Mei's room. Sister Mei is in her 30s. A woman dressed up in fancy clothes. He works in the afternoons and evenings. I usually don't go out in the morning, according to rumors. Sister Mei is engaged in a very technical job. It is not only necessary to understand the various acupuncture points of the body. There should also be a certain amount of strength in the hands. In addition, there must be a certain affinity. As a qualified master, this is the most basic professional quality. In the eyes of ordinary people, Sister Mei's work is discriminatory. However, there is one point that I admire Sister Mei very much. Never brought an outsider to the rental house. Sister Mei looked tired. After returning to the house, he threw out the high heels directly. Walked into the bathroom barefoot. A woman in her 30s is mature and charming. It is the pinnacle of appearance, walking down the street. The rate of turning heads is quite guaranteed. Lu Chen sighed secretly. Sister Mei has done a pretty good job of maintaining her body shape, slightly chubby figure. It reveals the charm of a mature woman. It's completely different from the green and thin little Reed next door. There's this innate advantage. Sister Mei's business volume must be quite guaranteed. There should be no shortage of customers. The shower was spraying hot water. The bathroom was filled with steam. Blurred Lu Chen's vision. He took his eyes off Sister Mei, looked around the room. Sister Mei's room is relatively simple. It's messy. It is in great contrast to the glamorous appearance. I guess I don't usually have time to tidy it up. Sister Mei was wrapped in a bath towel. Dragged out of the bathroom with his long, wet hair. She quickly freed up one hand to get her phone. The bath towel loses the support of the fingers, gently paddled to the side. The skin glows softly in the light. Every pore, all exude an mature and charming atmosphere. Sister Mei put the bath towel away, sitting on the bed. I answered the phone. The call lasted for half an hour. Lu Chen heard it clearly beside him. It was Sister Mei's hometown calling. It was supposed to be her mother and her son. Sister Mei told her mother to pay attention to her body, eat more nutritious foods. She would send the money back on time. He also told his son to study hard. Don't be naughty. Listen to your grandmother and teachers. Sister Mei asked her mother not to worry. He also said that the cost of the operation was quickly paid. Wait for 100,000 yuan. She went home to treat the child. Sister Mei's son didn't know. I need to go to a major hospital for hospitalization. I just hope that my mother will come home soon. She misses her mother. The corners of Sister Mei's eyes moisten. She struggled to control her sadness. Try to speak to your son in a relaxed tone. He assured his son, I will definitely go home for the Chinese New Year this year when it's time to buy your baby's favorite toy. Had the best cakes the other end of the phone. The son smiled with relief and said goodbye to his mother. Immature children are real. Sister May couldn't control her emotions anymore. 2 lines of warm tears flowed down his cheeks. Lu Chen curled up in the corner, eyes staring at the window in a daze. I didn't expect Sister May to be such a loving and righteous person. Everyone misunderstood her. Everyone owes Sister May an apology, including Lu Chen himself. Life is not easy. Sister May is even more difficult, but he did not bow to life. Lived out his pursuit. Lu Chen left Sister May's room. This is a real big sister, a person who deserves respect. The blue landlord came back drunk. The frenzied slamming of the door was particularly harsh in the middle of the night. Neighbors who are afraid of quarrels with the landlord. Open the door as fast as you can. Lu Chen is also idle. I simply followed up to see the excitement. The bruise in the landlord's left eye socket has not completely subsided. It was Lu Chen's masterpiece. Several days passed. The traces are still alive. It shows how powerful it was at that time. Look at your own masterpiece. Lu Chen had a sense of accomplishment. Treats come back so softly. It's not a gentleman. The landlady staggered into the room, pointing at the landlady's nose, said something slurred. It seems to be accusing something. The landlady is afraid of influencing others. Hurry up and close the door. The landlord asks the landlord to collect the rent quickly. He ran out of money, lost all your money today. The landlord was in a bad mood. All the anger was vented on the landlady. Raised his fist and punched the landlady. Lu Chen couldn't figure it out no matter what. The landlady had just come home, didn't even say a complete sentence. What the hell did the landlady provoke him? This kind of violence has to be used. In fact, Lu Chen ignored a problem for a person with violent tendencies. Domestic violence doesn't need to be justified at all. Higashi shook his body, unsteady on his feet with every move. The landlady clearly has a chance to resist or dodge. Resist or dodge. Lu Chen was even more puzzled. This woman is not stupid. I've never seen her so weak when I'm merging for rent. The tigress suddenly turned into a docile little flower cat. What is the charm of the landlady? It deserves the landlady to be so desperate. Facing violence from a male landlord, Lu Chen naturally would not sit idly by. Take advantage of the landlady's head down. Lu Chen smashed his fist into the right eye socket of the landlady. There was a dull thud. The landlady lay on the ground and couldn't get up again. All that's left is the high and low grunt, with the landlord looking surprised. Hurriedly leaned over to check the situation. Keep asking the landlady where he was hurt. Actually, you don't have to ask. You can see it by looking at the eyes. A pair of panda eyes are particularly eye-catching. The landlady moaned in pain. Can't say a word. I feel very satisfied with the journey. I opened the door and walked away. It doesn't matter if the landlady has doubts or not. Another day passed. It's time for the list of outstanding employees to be announced. This incident became the focus of discussion among the hotel staff. Because of the excellent employees and the average employees. There is a big difference in treatment. Excellent staff. It means that it has become the mainstay of the hotel. It's not just wages that have skyrocketed. You can enjoy a variety of benefits such as paid leave, earn bonuses, etc. It feels like the atmosphere in the class has changed. The security guards all surrounded Gao Life. I spin around, competing to say flattering words. Gao Life. I was in high spirits. I'm going to be excellent soon. The mood is very different. She had gauze wrapped around her head. The day before yesterday, I fell down the stairs inexplicably. The forehead and the back of the head were broken blood flows. Bandaged well in the infirmary. It looks like a seriously wounded man. Captain Gao with your seniority and prestige. You are not excellent. Who is excellent? Security guard Wu Shu, I flatter. Yes, Captain Gao deserves it. Someone chimed in. Concubine Goryeo is beautiful. A smile on his face turned into a flower. Wu Shuai made another suggestion. Everyone should raise funds, hold a celebration party for Captain Gao. Congratulations. Except for tonight, let's have a good drink. Gao Life Eye's face was displeased. I'm the way I am. Congratulations on the fart. Do you drink with gauze wrapped around you? Wu Shuai said that then don't drink. Let's raise money to buy more supplements. Give Captain Gao a good patch. Anyone with a discerning eye can see it. Wu Shuai is patting on the back. Use everyone's money to please Gao Life Eye. This suggestion is made. Everyone agreed, even if someone doesn't want to. I didn't dare to show it, Lu Chen. Don't be stunned. You don't agree to have dinner tonight. Wu Shuai directly called Lu Chen's name because everyone is circling around Gao Life Eye. Only Lu Chen is an exception. I agree with the idea. How Lu Chen echoed, Gao Life I was in a good mood. Praise Wu Shuai for doing things. He should be a substitute class leader. The 5 marshals were flattered. Surrounded by a pug around Gao Life Eye. Cheng Yan is funny. The heart says you will be sneered. There are times when you cry. The list of outstanding employees will be announced. You can't find the tone of crying. Leave work in the evening. The hotel held a general meeting of all employees. Except for the employees on duty, all the others participated. Gao Life, I had white gauze wrapped around her head. It stands out in the venue. There are several security clusters around. Holding, the Secretary of the Personnel Department began to announce the list of outstanding employees of the year in public. There are 8 people in total. Each name is pronounced. There will be warm applause from the audience. When I saw Lu Chen's name, the secretary was stunned. I didn't dare to read it out when it came to my mouth. The heart says what's going on. It should be Gao Life I. How did you suddenly change people? The secretary looked at Yu Lei, the manager of the Personnel Department. With a puzzled expression, there was some commotion in the venue. Someone whispered halfway through the list, how did it suddenly stop? As a manager in the HR department, Yu Lei was very unhappy at this time. The heart says the secretary, what's going on? Stuck at critical moments. Hurry up and read on, the CEOs are watching. Isn't that a fool of me as a director? He glared at the secretary fiercely. The secretary looked innocently unwept. The list of new speakers is subject to change. Why don't you let me know in advance? Make yourself very passive. Yu Lei waved his hand impatiently. It means don't be stunned. Hurry up and read on. The secretary had no choice but to continue reading out the list. Lu Chen, Yu Shiming, Wang Yan'an. The list has been read out. Liu Lei was dumbfounded. A paralyzed glared at the secretary. The heart says what's going on. How is there no Gao Life I? Yu Chen is something. The secretary looked innocent. You asked me to continue reading. Gao Life I, who was triumphant just now, wilted in an instant. He wasn't on the list. What the fuck are you fucking about? The security guards who accompanied Gao Life I, it's even more embarrassing. There was no Captain Gao on the list. How is this possible? His cousin is the manager of the Human Resources Department, a character who can be done on Xi's main stage. Gao Life has just joined the company for half a month. He was promoted to deputy captain of the security team. Isn't it logical to select outstanding employees? How could there be an accident? Some security guards were indignant. Lu Chen was elected. He's something. How could it be his turn? Anyone can be a good employee. A lot of eyes rushed to Lu Chen. There is envy and jealousy. There is also hatred, especially Gao Life I. The gaze is unfriendly. If the eyes can kill, Lu Chen has already died 10 times in the corner of the conference room. Di Zhao, you almost dropped her jaw in shock. Lu Chen was unexpectedly elected. How is this possible? How can it be? I'm so good. Are not yet eligible for selection. Lu Chen actually did it. Lu Chen was happy. Di Zhao, you felt a sense of loss. The list is announced. Some people rejoice. Some people are sad. After a brief commotion, the meeting moves on to the next content. What was said in the second half of the meeting? Lu Chen didn't remember. He only remembered Gao Life I's expression. It's worse than eating bird droppings. End of meeting. Lu Chen tried his best to pretend to be calm. Try to keep the excitement down as much as possible. You can't be the flamboyant. It's easy to be hated, in fact. Gao Life I had already hated Lu Chen to his grandmother's house. No matter how low-key he is, it was impossible for Gao Life I to let him go. In Gao Life I's cognition, it was Lu Chen who snatched the place that originally belonged to him, office of the Personnel Department. Yu Lei scolded the secretary severely. The secretary looked aggrieved. I just read the list myself. What's wrong? Liu Lei lay on his back on the chair, eyes slightly closed. I wonder what the problem is. How did Gao Life I's name become Lu Chen? The list was drawn up by himself. I reunited by myself again. There can be no mistake since the problem is not with yourself. It must be someone else's. He opened his eyes suddenly. Sit up and stare at the secretary. The secretary had been standing beside him. I saw the manager staring at him with suspicion. His expression became uneasy. How could the list change? It's something you've been responsible for explaining clearly. Yu Lei's tone was very cold. It was so cold that it made you shiver. The list of managers is rather an audited document. It has also been kept with you. I really do something I don't know, the secretary explained with tears in his voice. He was really wrong. Liu Lei is right to think about it. The documents were reviewed by themselves, and keep it here for yourself. It is impossible for outsiders to do their own thing. But Gao Life I's name has really changed again. How to explain? But yes, Yu Lei really couldn't think of why. I closed my eyes again. I thought to myself, this is not the end of the matter. He had to go to the general manager. Be sure to reverse this mistake. Yu Lei came to the general manager's office. I explained the situation to the general manager due to work mistakes. There's a name on the list of good that gets it wrong. How to change general manager when listened with a displeased face. The staff meeting was held. The list was also announced. How can I change it now? Are you kidding the authority of the hotel? Yu Lei had to self-examine. Say that the person below has made a mistake in his work. If there is a mistake, do you have to fix it? You can't just make a mistake. The general manager shook his head, even if the people below make mistakes at work. As a personnel manager, how did you review it if there is a mistake in this matter as a human resources manager? You are the first person responsible. Now change the list. Do you want the face of the personnel department? The face of the hotel is still missing. After listening to the general manager's reprimand, tears broke out in a cold sweat. Yes, if you changed the list now, didn't you slap yourself in the face? I was in such a mess just now. He did such a foolish thing. Yulei walked out of the general manager's office in a gloomy manner. I didn't dare to mention it again, back to the rental house. Lu Chen could no longer hide the excitement in his heart. I couldn't help humming a little song Xiao Yui walked overhead on. Ask Lu Chen what he is happy about. Lu Chen said that it was nothing. It's just heartbreaking. Xiao Yui nodded with a smile, as if sharing Lu Chen's joy. Lu Chen also smiled. But a cool breath rose in my heart. Xiao Yui, this girl is hidden. There is a depth in scheming that does not match his age. If not to see it with your own eyes, who would have thought of this sweetened, innocent girl in front of her? Is a veteran fraudster. Watch as Xiao Yui returns to the room. Lu Chen felt. Today, it is necessary to visit Xiao Yui's room again. Her pig slaughter tray has been raised large enough. Pigs may be killed today. You can't miss this show that night. Lu Chen first patronized Xiao Yui's room. There is an invisibility cloak on the side. It was as convenient for Lu Chen to follow up with his room. It's been a lot of times I felt at ease. Yui is chatting in front of the computer in her pajamas. As for the content, in addition to the flesh is teasing. Leave the other party smitten. I can't wait to take out my heart and let Xiao Yui see it. See, the time is right. Xiao Yui, I finally began to close the net. He borrowed money from each other under the guise of doing business. Coaxed the other party to transfer money under the pretext of capital turnover. He also said that after finishing this business, he could prepare the wedding room. When the time comes, the two will be able to live together. It's the first time I've been so close to a scam. Lu Chen was both curious and frightened. The heart said that a single business was so simple that it was done. Will the other party pay for it? Lu Chen stared at the computer. I want to see if the other party will actually transfer money. The other party replied immediately. Indicates that money can be borrowed. A sly smile appeared on Xiao Yui's pretty face. It was a smile of harvest and success. Lu Chen secretly gave a thumbs up. Xiao Yui really has a set of scams. Xiao Yui hummed a little song while going to the bathroom in the posture of a victor. Listened to the sound of water in the bathroom. Lu Chen was so angry that he almost cursed. Shin said that he came into quickly for money. It's a scam. Think about it. Is this a scam? Earn 20,000 yuan by chatting? Why is he? Just by virtue of having a beautiful skin. The more Lu Chen thought about it, the more angry he became. I worked hard for a month. It's only 2,000 yuan. It's 20. Zero for people to chat casually more than a decade ago. 20,000 yuan is not a small amount. The dialogue box flashes again. Another message from the other party. You want to transfer an account number. Transfer money tomorrow. Lu Chen felt that he had to do something. Otherwise, the mind is unbalanced. All the internal organs are fried. He pulled out a note in his coat pocket. It has the account number and name on it. This is the landlady's account number. Every guest has his or her account easy to pay rent. Lu Chen quickly put the landlady's account number and name. Input dialog box. Pressed enter. Lu Chen's heart jumped suddenly. Xiao Yui could come out at any time. Once bumped into. It can tend. Think about it. I am invisible. It's like air. I'm afraid that the other party will go offline after receiving the account. Said that the transfer of money would be arranged immediately. Lu Chen put what he had just entered, removed from the dialog box. Then I turned off the computer again, posing as if it was a crash. Yui came out of the bathroom. Lu Chen hurriedly hid in the corner. Xiao Yui saw that the computer froze, didn't think much about it, turned it back on. It came to a critical juncture. He would never give up. The iron must be struck while it is hot. Xiao Yui posted it online again. The other party has gone offline. He wasted no time. Continue to look online for new pig-killing targets. Lu Chen accomplished a big thing. I feel very comfortable. He just waited for Xiao Yui to open the door, then take the opportunity to slip away. However, Xiao Yui's mind is on the computer. There is no intention to open the door. Lu Chen was a little tired, simply lay on the bed while resting, while waiting for the opportunity to leave. The sheets were clean. There is a faint aroma. Lu Chen was intoxicated. It was as if one of the nerves in the body had been touched, always thinking about doing something. Xiao Yui's schedule is very regular. Go to bed at 11 p. Hey, turned off her computer face. There was a faint smile on it all the time. It was a good day. The mood is also good. The pretty face has a different kind of charm. Lu Chen was stunned. My heart says it's so beautiful. It didn't take long. Yui's breathing became even. I guess I fell asleep. Lu Chen lay lightly on the other side of the bed. She was also tired. Just lie down undressed for a while. I can rest with Xiao Yui, even if you don't do anything. It's also a treat. The big cat also slept deeply. It curled up in the corner. There was even a slight snoring. Dead. The whole world seems to have fallen asleep. Lu Chen originally wanted to do nothing. Just lie down for a while. Lying down. The will is not so strong. The body involuntarily leaned towards Xiao Yui. A faint feminine breath came to his face, ignited the fire in Lu Chen's heart. A hand couldn't help but put on the other person. There was no reaction. I can see that I slept deeply. See, if the other party is not reacting, Lu Chen's courage suddenly became a little bigger. The hand became restless too. Swim around like a fish, Xiao Yue instinctively twisted her body. The curved eyebrows furrowed. Lu Chen was taken aback. The brain suddenly cleared. He quickly stopped. I secretly scolded myself for being Jehu again. Wait for Xiao Yue to fall asleep again. Then he opened the door lightly and went out. By this time, it was already late. I was going to visitor Shaolun Xiaogan's room. You can only give up first. It's a long time coming. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Go to work the next day. Lu Chen deliberately advanced by 10 minutes, waiting for Jia Xiaoyu in the parking lot of the hotel. Meet Lu Chen Jia. Xiaoyu showed an incredible expression. Okay, Lu Chen. I didn't expect you to be selected as excellent. It seems to be hidden. Let's be honest, it has something to do with which big leader in the hotel. Lu Chen smiled. Small meaning. You know how many people are in the hotel. Envy, jealousy, and hatred of you. Others can think whatever they like. I don't think it's worth mentioning anyway. It's the little things cut you. Jia Xiaoyu was a little angry. Turn around and walk towards the hotel. Lu Chen hurriedly chased after him. Does Xiaoyu have time at night? Have a light meal together to celebrate. Okay, the two broke up in front of the hotel. The security guard was a little odd about the atmosphere today. The sky is still in good spirits. Vice Captain Gao Life, I did not come to work. There are fewer people who usually surround him. The subject of the sycophant appears listless. Everyone saw Lu Chen coming. They all have weird expressions. Not even a single one congratulated. Lu Chen didn't care. Say hello to everyone as you normally would. It embarrasses other people. Lu Chen deliberately ignored Wu Shuai. Because the other party is a sycophant, he didn't bother to take care of it. Wu Shuai saw that Lu Chen ignored him, immediately angry. Lu Chen, don't think it's great to get an excellent one. You'd better be clear the sky of Longshan Hotel cannot change. Lu Chen directly chose to ignore it. Lu Chen, don't pretend to be a big-tailed wolf. Are not done stealing, Captain Gao's excellence. Sooner or later, you'll have to vomit out what you eat. And some teeth and claws. I can't swallow Lu Chen. Lu Chen sneered. What are you talking about? I stole someone else's good. I'm going to ask you, how did I steal someone else's excellence? Which I have yours has seen it. The quota for outstanding employees was originally for Captain Gao. The entire security team who does not know you're old. How will it be your turn? You are not stealing anything. That's your logic. It is said that you are Gao Life eyes, dog legs. Today is an insight. Lu Chen, you make it clear. Who do you say is a doggle? I said you are. Wu Shui's self-esteem was greatly damaged, directly to follow. Lu Chen did not show weakness, just do it. The security guards hurriedly pulled the two apart. Wu Shui clapped his hands at everyone. Our Captain Gao is unhappy today. Didn't come to work. If he doesn't come, we will lack the backbone. We'll have to arrange it in the evening. Invite Captain Gao to pick up the boring children. No one is allowed to be absent. Lu Chen knew that Wu Shuai was coming at him. It is to use the power of the crowd to isolate oneself. Wu Shuai, what did you just say? Captain Gao doesn't go to work. Everyone lacks the backbone. I'm going to output Captain Li Yang. Isn't Captain Li the backbone of our security team? Lu Chen Zai I asked. He's ruthless enough. Directly pulled the 5 marshals to the opposite side of Li Yang. What else do I want to say by relying on the 5 marshals? I was persuaded by the person next to me. Stretched out his hand and pointed at the Captain Li Yang, who came over. The current captain is here. The security guards kept their heads down. No more talking. Li Yang is the head of security at Longshan Hotel. It can be regarded as a middle-level leader. There is some weight in the interior of the hotel. Li Yang hurriedly walked over with a strong dissatisfaction on his face. Do you have a sense of time? Take a look at the table for yourself. What time is it? Don't you change shifts? The captain was furious. The security guards scattered in ashes. It's time to take over. It's time to leave work. Li Yang's anger did not subside. Pointing at everyone and yelling at everyone, this matter is not over. I'll wait until I've watched the surveillance footage and I'll settle accounts with you. The hotel's surveillance cameras are dense. There is a distance above the head, secretly funny, finally achieved the desired effect. Woe to men who are mad. Wu Shuai, this kind of sycophant naturally has someone to treat him. Wu Shuai broke out in a cold sweat. Think about it. Did you comb your hair just now? Offending the Captain Li Yang is not a joke. In the hallway of the hotel, Lu Chen met the security guard Xiao Yu. The latter saw that there was no one around. Said to Lu Chen in a low voice, "Congratulations." Lu Chen patted Xiao Yu's shoulder. "It means that I got it." Xiao Yu secretly stretched out his thumb. Expressed admiration for Lu Chen's style. Lu Chen thought secretly, not all security guards are flying around Goryeo. For example, this Xiao Yu in the monitoring room, Captain Li Yang fell into deep thought. Through video playback, he saw what was happening. As the captain of the security team, Lee H.A. Yang had to think about a few things. For Ryo FEI's own background is there, gradually took control of the overall situation of the security team. There is a lot of momentum to put himself as the captain in the air. What's wrong with this? It's time to fight back otherwise. Who would take himself as the captain seriously? Let's start with Wu Shuai. After hours, the security team held a plenary meeting. Captain Lee H.A. Yang announced a decision. Wu Shuai does not abide by hotel discipline. Jida was fined 300 yuan once. Wu Shuai is not convinced. Why only punish me alone? How is loot and okay? I'm the captain. I'm up to the cracks here. Lee H.A. Yang threw down a sentence. It doesn't matter what Wu Shui's attitude is, adjournment of the meeting directly. Fu Shen was in a good mood, waiting for Jia Xiaoyu to get off work in the parking lot of the hotel. Jia Xiaoyu hurriedly walked over in the morning. His face looked preoccupied. How upset. Fu Chen asked him, not available tonight. I can't eat with you, Jia Xiaoyu said, while Fu Chen was puzzled. It's not yet time for a shift. Tonight, we have an important client to be received. Yule asked me to go in the evening. I will accompany the customer to dinner. Okay, Lu Chen's scolded secretly you're off work. There's no need to get involved. This is not the case with the hotel. There are no rules in the hotel. But Yule said, this customer is very important. Be sure to entertain well. No one can shirk the task to which it is assigned. Lu Chen had a bad premonition. Jia Xiaoyu. Attending this reception was not so simple. About Liu Lei, the manager of the personnel department, there are a lot of rumors in the hotel. This guy is notoriously, I don't know how many waitresses have been harassed by her. But he's a people manager. He is in charge of the life and death of his employees. Everyone just dared to be angry but didn't dare to speak. Jia Xiaoyu accompanied Liu Lei to dinner tonight. I'm afraid it's more than lucky. To say that Liu Lei didn't have a crook mind about Jia Xiaoyu? Oh, don't believe it. Lu Chen frowned when he saw Jia Xiaoyu. Took the initiative to take on the role of protector. You can go to the reception with peace of mind. I protect you, save you. You can't even get in the VIP room. Why protect me? Xiaoyu looked at Lu Chen with a surprised expression. You don't have to worry about this. I have my own way. Lu Chen was confident. Xiaoyu shook her head. Lu Chen, but you have to be realistic. I got a good one from you, so what? What can change? It's just an ordinary security company. Things at the top. You can't take care of it. Jia Xiaoyu was afraid of hurting Lu Chen's self-esteem. Try to speak in a sincere tone. Lu Chen was still full of confidence. Xiaoyu, you're right. Yes, but trust me, I have the power to protect you. Do you really believe me? Hey, Jia Xiaoyu sighed. Lu Chen didn't even know where the doors and windows of the VIP room were open. Count on him for protection. It's too unreliable. Lu Chen made a guarantee very seriously. I'll send you home safely. No one is allowed to harm you. Xiaoyu reluctantly made an okay gesture. That's right, good people. I've done it. Are you ready to be my girlfriend? Even if it's temporary. Haha, Xiaoyu smiled. Girlfriends also have temporary. It can be understood this way. If you don't think it's suitable, you could always replace me. Till you return to the hotel, what awaits him will be an unknown dinner. Lu Chen was directly at the hotel. In the bathroom, changed into an invisibility cloak. Looked in the mirror, confirmed that there are no exposures. Then I swaggered to the banquet hall on the 3rd floor. A banquet hall is huge. It is divided into 2 parts. The main hall and the private room. There are also 3 ultra-luxury private rooms. Dedicated to VIP reception, the 3rd floor belongs to the food and beverage department. Lu Chen usually has very little, the scope of his work. Generally, it is located on the 5th floor or above. Lu Cheng is in the lobby of the catering department. Find a secluded place to sit. Pondered how to find Jia Xiaoyu's location. There are a lot of private rooms here. It's not easy to find someone more than 2 hours past. Liu Lei accompanied the customer into the hall. At the head were 2 small businessmen. Listened to the accent like a Cantonese person. Liu Lei, manager of the personnel department, and Zhang Xin Feng, manager of the catering department, left and right accompaniment. There were also some people who followed. Lu Chen saw Jia Xiaoyu in the crowd. He walked at the back with a female employee. Misfit like to ugly ducklings, Lu Qin hurriedly followed everyone to the private room. Liu Lei talked to the guests while walking. Listen to what is being said. I think I played bowling on the 2nd floor. No wonder it took so long to come up for dinner in a luxurious private room. Zhang Xin Feng, the manager of the catering department, personally ordered the special dishes. The welcome to the guests was expressed with the most sincere warmth. One of the guests recently caught a cold, can't blow air conditioner. They immediately asked the waiter to turn off the air conditioner. The temperature in the private room suddenly rose a lot. Whether in August, a room without air conditioning is simply unbearable. The people in the room were soon sweating profusely. I was excited and hurriedly arranged a few fans. Everyone shook their fans to cool down. Lu Chen squatted in the corner and cursed. This kind of guest is so fucking perverted, definitely not at ease. The most uncomfortable thing in the house is that he is invisible. The whole body was wrapped, lack of air circulation from head to toe. Hot sweat flowing, the atmosphere at the wine table was very harmonious. The guest talked. It has the momentum of pointing the country. Liu Lei occasionally added a little meat joke. Liven up the atmosphere objectively. Liu Lei is an expert in reception. Not only can you drink, and it can be said. Often makes guests laugh. Jia Xiaoyu and another female employee have their own division of labor. Accompany one guest separately. It was too hot in the room. It's so hot that it's unbearable. The two customers took off their coats first. Liu Lei immediately took off his coat. I am excited and excuse the food to urge the food. Go outside from time to time to let the wind out, so it feels okay. The worst thing is Jia Xiaoyu and the female employee. Dear girls, it's impossible to take off your tooling so casually. The guests took good care of Jia Xiaoyu, keeps choosing the cold and asking for warmth. A hand also touched Jia Xiaoyu intentionally or unintentionally. Jia Xiaoyu was disgusted, but there is nothing to be done. He was right next to the guest. There is no way to avoid it. Another guest used palmistry as an excuse, grabbed the little hand of the female employee and hold on. Lu Chen stood in the corner, cold-eyed at what was happening in front of him. The heart said that these are two old perverts. What good can be done at such a banquet? Hold on for a while. Lu Chen couldn't bear it anymore. The inside of the invisibility cloak is like a steamer. Hold on to it. Absolute heat stroke. He had no choice but to sneak out of the private room. Go into the hallway to get some air. The hotel is all air-conditioned. After walking out of the private room, the temperature dropped immediately. Jia Xiaoyu and the female employee are hot. So I was pouring down his forehead. I was almost soaking wet. They also want to go outside to get some air. But the guests are not allowed. I had to hold on in a private room. The female employee couldn't stand it, had to take off the jacket of the overalls, wear a shirt. The shirt has long been soaked with sweat, tightly clinging to the body. The guest's eyes were straight, the eyes were glued to the female employee, like all-purpose glue. Jia Xiaoyu is also hot to the limit, had to take off the cargo coat. The silk shirt clings to the body. On the contrary, the figure is vividly outlined. The guests around him looked at her with a smile, took out a handkerchief to wipe Jia's sweat. Jia Xiaoyu dodged left and right, rejected the other party's kindness. At this time, he was excited to come in and greet the two guests for a drink. In fact, the embarrassment of girls was resolved. The two guests didn't seem to be paying attention to drinking party, one mind with Jia Xiaoyu. And another female employee said closely, the two girls could only deal with it carefully. Either can offend the customer, I want to protect myself again. This kind of balance is actually difficult to control. Halfway through the banquet, the atmosphere changed suddenly. It seems that the business has been negotiated, it's time for entertainment. The guest stared at Jia Xiaoyu with squinting eyes. And another female employee first asked some questions that were either salty nor light. Then find an excuse for the two to drink. Jia Xiaoyu and the two insisted on not drinking liquor, the guests were not reluctant. As for red wine instead, the second half of the banquet lasted longer. There were several bottles of red wine in the blink of an eye. The guests kept calling for wine from Jia Xiaoyu and the others. And some high-sounding reasons, it's hard to say no to calling to girls. Jia Xiaoyu was a little drunk, his face was as red as a peach blossom. Plus the temperature is too high, she involuntarily unbuttoned both buttons of her shirt. The guest next to him drooled, stretched out his hand to hug Jia Xiaoyu over. It struggled to refuse, however, it didn't work, her strength is not as strong as that of the other party. Zheng Xinfeng, the manager of the catering department, couldn't stand it, planned to get up and relieve Jia Xiaoyu. Liu Lei next to him immediately stopped him. He told Zheng Xinfeng not to mess around. The guest just wanted to talk to Jia. Xiaoyu talks about her heart. I didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Zheng Xinfeng still couldn't bear it, directly interrupted the guest's movements. The guest's face was full of displeasure, but he still suppressed the fire. Lu Chen sneered secretly. The other party's bad intentions really came up. This is tricky. It's clearly about pouring wine. Who can tell what happened after getting drunk? He made up his mind. If someone dares to hit Jia Jiwo's idea, he didn't mind flipping the table on the spot. It was too hot in the private room. Lu Chen had to go out again to breathe. Zheng Xinfeng, the manager of the catering department, is not bad. Blocked a lot of wine for the two girls. It's so hot in the house. Female employees had to unbutton a shirt again. Use a fan to fan your clothes. The direct drool of the guests next to the look. Reached out and hugged the female employee directly in his arms. Mouth full of fleshy words, the female employee wanted to resist. But alcohol has numbed the brain. The movements made her more like teasing. Under the combined effect of alcohol and high temperatures, Jia Xiaoyu showed signs of heat stroke. The mental state is getting worse and worse. I am excited. Hurriedly brought 2 bottles of water to cool Jia Xiaoyu. The guest next to him took the water bottle, pretended to be very concerned and fed Jia Xiaoyu water. Jia Xiaoyu is really thirsty. Grabbed the water bottle and poured a few sips. helped Jia Xiaoyu wipe the water droplets on his clothes. What kind of heart did she have? Only she knows. The two hands kept groping on Jia Xiaoyu's body. Jia Xiaoyu instinctively wanted to refuse. But the state of mind, she was no longer allowed to resist too violently. One of the buttons of the shirt was knocked off by the other party. Yu Lei was watching the sky from the side. Not only do not stop it. Instead, save for the other party, Xiaoyu didn't thank Boss Chu yet. Hey, Nathan really couldn't stand it. Get up and go to stop it, was dragged by Yu Lei. Lu Chen heard movement in the private room, hurried back to the house. The scene in front of him made him furious. He strode behind the guest, lift up and kick it under the table. The guest screamed. I lay under the table and didn't get up for a long time. I bent over excitedly and looked at it. I almost laughed out loud. He struggled to keep his emotions down. Pretending to be concerned, he said, Boss Chu, you're drinking high. How can you be so careless? I didn't drink high. Someone kicked me down, the guest explained as he lay on the ground. He breathed a sigh of relief, got to settle accounts with that person. No one. You fell on your own. Zhang Xian then confirmed again. He was afraid that the other party would put the responsibility on Jia Xiaoyu. So I got vaccinated in advance, the atmosphere in the room suddenly fell silent. The other guest was undiminished by welcoming, pestered the female employee and refused to let go. Lu Chen leaned over gently. Hit the opponent to the ground, the guest snorted and fell to the ground. I can't get up again. Zhang Xingfeng finally couldn't help it. Laugh out loud. He felt embarrassed, hurriedly walked out of the private room. Zhang Xingfeng's laughter came from the corridor again. Boss Dong, you are also drunk. Yu Lei rubbed the other party's back, he said. The fart loud easy, you didn't drink high. It was kicked off. Liu Lei frowned. There are no outsiders in the private room. It's clear that you fell on your own, but he didn't dare to raise the bar with the other party. Zhang Xian called two waiters, lift the two guests up and sit in their chairs. The two guests covered their faces. The other sat on a chair with his waist bent and hummed. Yu Lei saw that the banquet could not go on. Let the waiter carry the two guests room to rest. This is the end of the banquet. The end ends with two guests falling to the ground. Yu Lei asked Zhang Xian to arrange accommodation for the two guests. He was left behind, Jia Xiaoyu and another female employee. Finally breathed a sigh of relief. The two went to the bathroom hand in hand. Yu Lei took advantage of the fact that there was no one in the room. Secretly took out a packet of white medicinal noodles from his coat pocket. It was quickly poured into Jia Xiaoyu's one glass. Lu Chen could see it clearly from the side. The heart said that Liu Lei is an old boy. Sure enough, the fox's tail was revealed. The customer didn't treat Jia Xiaoyu well. No bad intentions are you again. You're looking for a fight. Lu Chen was just about to make a move. Jia Xiaoyu came out of the bathroom. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, he couldn't help but let you two have worked hard today. I'll go back and talk to your manager, send you overtime. Liu Lei pretended to be concerned and said, Thank you, Mr. Liu. It should be. Excellent next time. The two of you are the first to consider. Yu Lei pretended to draw flatbread for the two girls. Jia Xiaoyu and her companion glanced at each other, looking forward to the big cake painted by Yu Lei. Take advantage of the time when the three of them are standing and talking. Lu Chen quietly exchanged the wine glass. The drugged wine glass was replaced by Yu Lei's position. Liu Lei waved his hand. Motion for Jia Xiao, you and the two to sit down. Manager will use time is not early. Let's go back, Jia Xiaoyu said to Liu Lei. You didn't want to stay any longer? Liu Lei nodded briskly. Well, it's not too early. You can go back again. That's the same sentence. Thank you for sacrificing your time. Come and help us with the hotel. Rest assured, the hotel will remember your benefits. Let's have a toast. Seeing Liu Lei raise his glass, Jia Xiao, you was a little difficult. He just didn't want to drink anymore. Manager Liu, we are all our own people. Just don't drink it anymore. Well, don't drink it. It's in the cup. Order a drink and let's toast together. I think it's my gratitude to you. Liu Lei smiled. Looks like he cares about his subordinates. Jia Xiaoyu hesitated. The hand never went to the glass. Liu Lei hesitated when he saw Jia Xiaoyu, glanced at the female employee next to her. The latter did not dare to be proud. He took the lid and raised his glass. Jia Xiaoyu saw that his companion was serving a cup. It's hard to excuse yourself. I also picked up my glass. Liu Lei was very happy to see this okay, so that it seems to be united. Here's our toast. Liu Lei did it first. Another female employee also did it. Jia Xiaoyu also drank the last glass of wine with great effort. Well, today's mission is successfully concluded. We can all go home. Liu Lei walked out of the private room with great interest. Jia Xiaoyu and the others also followed out of the private room. Liu Lei seemed to suddenly think of something, turning his head to Jia Xiaoyu. He said, Yes, I have a document in my office. You come with me to get it. I'll hand it over to your manager, Tian, early tomorrow morning. Manager Tian is the lobby manager of the hotel. Jia Xiaoyu's supervisor. I heard that it was a document from Manager Tian. Jia Xiaoyu hesitated, didn't want to go. Now I can't make up my mind. Why don't you want to help with this? Yu Lei deliberately pretended to be displeased. Jia Xiaoyu is not easy to refuse. I had to go to the office with Liu Lei. Lu Chen gritted his teeth secretly beside him. This guy is really underbeaten. Jia Xiao, you followed Liu Lei to the office on the 4th floor. Since it was night, the hallway was deserted. Everyone is off work. The floor was covered with a thick carpet. The man walked up and made no sound. Liu Lei opened the office door, pushed the door in. Teiyu also followed. Liu Lei asked Jia Xiaoyu to sit casually. I pretended to be looking for documents, rummaged back and forth at your desk while looking for documents, while secretly observing Jia Jiwo's expression, extrapolated over time. It's time for the effects of the drug to kick in. Jia Jiwo's shirt, some are not very regular. It was too hot in the private room just now. The shirt is still stuck to the body. Liu Lei drooled when he saw it. I can't help it now, but he held back. Just wait, not so many minutes. Jia Xiaoyu is still too simple, didn't realize Liu Lei's true purpose. Liu Lei deliberately delayed time, waiting for Jia's Yuo's medicinal effect to take effect. Over time, Jia Xiaoyu is nothing abnormal. On the contrary, Liu Lei felt a little dizzy. Immediately after that, the head became more and more dizzy, involuntarily lay on the desk and fell unconscious. Manager Liu Jia Xiaoyu screamed softly. Of course, Liu Lei will not respond. He's now having a seizure, unconscious like a dead pig. Jia Xiaoyu didn't think much about it. I thought Liu Lei was drunk. It turns out that the documents are not, we'll talk about it tomorrow. He gently closed the office door. Walk away on your own. Lu Qin watched Jia Xiaoyu disappear at the end of the corridor. He didn't follow. Instead, he returned to Liu Lei's office. Liu Lei was lying on the desk, slept like a dead pig, saliva flowed from the corners of his mouth. Lu Chen searched carefully in his pocket, finally found the packet of medicinal noodles. Lu Chen opened the paper bag and sniffed it, colorless and odorless. I don't know what kind of medicine it is, but the effect is what he has seen with his own eyes. It only takes a little bit to stun a person. Liu Lei Jiwo's one glass. I put less than 1/10 of the amount. Most of it remains in the paper bag. Lu Chen decides to take the packet with her. Stay by Liu Lei's side. I don't know how many people will be harmed. It's confiscated there were a few white pills on the desk outside. It is estimated that it was put down by an employee. Lu Chen crushed the pill into powder with the table legs. Ray Rapid put Liu Lei's pocket back. Lu Chen returned to the restaurant on the 3rd floor. He wanted to escort Jia Xiaoyu on his last journey. Jia Xiaoyu said goodbye to Zhang excitedly, the manager of the catering department. After getting off work, Lu Chen took a breath. A daunting task has finally been accomplished. At this time, a middle-aged man walked into the hall. Dressed moderately, belonged to the kind that is placed in the crowd. Unobtrusive types, the man found a secluded place to sit down. Then he started fiddling with his phone. Lu Qin secretly wondered, what was he doing sitting in the hall so late? Out of the professional sensitivity of security guards. Lu Qin glanced at the other party a few more times. Lu Qin found that the other party's mobile phone was not simple, an Apple that is rarely seen on the market. The middle-aged man has been taking pictures with his phone. Every corner of the hall was photographed in great detail. Lu Chen was a little puzzled. Why did the other party take so many photos? Also subconsciously walked behind the other party. A middle-aged man is sending a photo taken. It looks like it was sent to someone. Lots of photos. It's not just about the food and beverage department, business center with housekeeping lobby. Our bowling alleys and so on. Lu Chen was secretly surprised. What the hell is this man coming from? The middle-aged man didn't notice that there was someone next to him. After sending the video, one more report was edited. Lu Chen saw it clearly. The content of the report is an evaluation of the hotel. For example, the occupancy rate of a hotel, the price list of a hotel room, the style of decoration of the hotel, the overall quality of the service staff, and so on. The more Lu Chen looked at it, the more puzzled he became. I really can't guess what this guy is up to at this time. The middle-aged man left with his bag on his back. Lu Chen did not continue to follow the other party. He was so tired, I have to go home and rest. Lu Chen was in a good mood. I can get a good night's sleep tonight. The next day, Lu Chen went to work normally. He went to Jia Xiaoyu first. Asked how it was last night. Jia Xiaoyu said that everything was normal. Didn't drink high yourself, on the contrary. Manager Yu drank high. The guests also drank high. If only you were safe. What we said yesterday still counts. Who should I say yesterday? Jia Xiaoyu looked puzzled. He, my temporary girlfriend, forgot about it so quickly. Jia Xiaoyu seemed to remember. Well, let me think about it again. Also considered, didn't you say it yesterday? Jia Xiaoyu smiled. Of course you have to think about it. You said you were going to protect me, but I didn't see you in the private room last night. Lu Chen was embarrassed. I don't know what to say. Well, I don't blame you. I'm not good, okay? You can't even get in the door of the private room. How to protect? It's really good to be a man. You can't take credit for it. Lu Chen rolled his eyes. Chen said I had a busy night last night. They were all blind in vain. Lu Chen went to work not long ago. A rumor was heard right away. The hotel is to be acquired. It's said to be a large consortium from outside the country. His rumor spread quickly. It's only one morning. Almost the entire hotel staff knows about it. Employees are talking. Some believe that the rumors are not credible. The hotel's performance has been good. How can it be transferred? Some believe it is credible. The big conglomerates are bidding very high. The hotel shareholders have a hard time refusing. Although there are many rumor versions, but there's one thing that everyone agrees on, hotel transfer or not. It doesn't have much to do with ordinary employees. Everyone is just working to earn money. As for who the owner is, it doesn't seem to matter that much after hours. Lu Chen was pondering who he would be a guest at tonight. At this time, the landlady walked up to the second floor with a paper bag. The paper bag has the bank's logo on it. I guess I went to the bank to withdraw cash. Xiao Yuai's mistaken 20,000 yuan was on his card. It should have been taken out. Lu Chen immediately determined the goal. I'm going to the landlady's house tonight. Get the money back, by the way. Before the official action, get a good night's sleep first. Recharge your batteries, however. Lu Chen was still too optimistic. When I returned to the attic, I realized that I couldn't sleep at all. Yui is arguing with the landlady. The voices of the two of them rang. Higher than a voice, Xiao Rui, who is usually gentle and lovely, shouted. The pitch is not generally high. Lu Chen was in the attic like listening to the stereo. It's time to cook. The tenants are all at home. Just come out and persuade you. There are those who persuade Xiao Rui. There are those who stop the landlady. Through conversations, Lu Chen figured out the reason for the quarrel. The problem was with the transfer the day before yesterday. Lu Chen secretly left the landlady's account number. The other party actually transferred money. A full 20,000 pieces. The next day, Xiao Rui did not receive the money. As soon as I docked, I realized that the account was wrong. It was actually transferred to the landlady's card. Xiao Rui, I hurriedly found the landlady to explain the situation. Asked the other party to transfer the money back quickly. The landlady said that the bank card was not on her. It has been kept by the landlady. Xiao Rui hurried to find the landlady again. The landlady has been very unlucky lately, lost a lot of money in the chess and card room. I didn't ask the landlady for much money. The mood is very irritable. Suddenly, I heard Xiao Rui say that a sum of money was put on her card. It's not just a sight to behold. He immediately went to the ATM to check. There was really 20. There are more yuan on the card. The landlord was overjoyed with this money. It's been a while again. As for Xiao Rui, she asked him for money. He never thought of giving it back. Xiao Rui begged for it several times in a day. The landlord has been shirking. It's late afternoon. The contradiction finally broke out. One insisted on money. One is not giving. The more the two got into trouble, the more stiff they became. Finally, a quarrel broke out. The quarrel lasted more than an hour. Didn't solve anything. Rui loses patience, threatened to call the police. The blue landlord pretended not to care on his face. But my heart is not steady. But for the sake of the money, he persevered. Just don't give. Although Xiao Rui said cruel words to call the police. It's just to scare each other after all. Her money is not coming from the right place. How could it be? Call the police. The blue landlord saw that Xiao Rui did not call the police for a long time. Suddenly he was stiff again, refused to take the money. Under everyone's persuasion, the two-hour bickering finally came to an end. Everyone went back to their houses and went to sleep. Lu Chen was secretly amusing beside him. The heart speaks of this ill-gotten gain. It can't fall into the hands of Xiao Rui, nor can it be cheaper for the landlady. Gotta get it tonight. Xiao Rui didn't get the money. I can't help it in a hurry. When I went back to the room, I cried dirty. He was really distressed. Big fish caught with all your hard work. Didn't even look at it, was stewed by others. A hint of determination appeared on Xiao Rui's face. This is not the end of the matter. We'll see. The landlady was in a good mood. After all, he picked up 20,000 yuan for nothing, enough for him to squander for a while. But I got home, my attitude towards the landlady also changed. A pleasant expression, the redness of the eye sockets is subsiding. However, a pair of panda eyes are still very eye-catching. The landlady was flattered in his opinion. Not being subjected to domestic violence is the greatest happiness. He made a few dishes. At a dinner with the landlady and in harmony, I don't know the inside story. I thought it was a model couple. Lu Qi shook his head beside him. Heart said that the landlady was too easy to satisfy. The landlord just didn't have domestic violence, one he became so little a bird. This kind of marriage is simply a kind of sorrow. The landlady asked the landlady to take a shower. I could see that he was very interested. The landlady is cleaning up the dishes. See the landlady so considerate today. A rare smile appeared on his face. He put down what he was doing. Happily went to the bathroom. With the sound of rushing water, several pieces of clothing were thrown out of it. Seeing this, the blue landlord became more and more interested. The guy took his shirt off in a haphazard manner, also went into the bathroom. Lu Chen felt that the opportunity had come. He quickly pulled out a packet of medicinal noodles. Put a small portion in a water glass. The landlady dragged wet. The wet body carried the landlady out of the bathroom. He threw himself on the bed. The landlady's face was crimson, the short hair of the ears wet. Still dripping, spring depends on people. The landlady looked a little dry. Pick up the water glass on the table, took a few sips. He handed the glass to the landlady. Drink water, the landlady was flattered. He couldn't remember anymore. How long has it been since the landlady took the initiative to hand him water? A sense of happiness spread across his face. There was a hint of charm on the already pretty cheeks. He can't. I still took the water glass. Red lips are clear. Take a few small sips. The blue landlord became rough again. However, this kind of roughness is not the same as domestic violence. The landlady's face was filled with rare joy. Lu Chen was shocked. Are women so easily satisfied? He saw the domestic violence of the blue landlord with his own eyes. Treat landlady-esque like criminals, never distracted. Now a few sweet words are done. Again, that's the same sentence. Sad, the effect of the medicine soon came up. The landlord was unaware of the anomaly. I thought I was tired. Need a good rest. The landlady didn't notice it either. I thought I was tired. Turned his head and fell asleep, looking at the comatose landlady. Lu Chen's eyes became presumptuous. The greedy gaze roamed over the other person's body. I have to admit it, it's a beautiful shell. The reason why the word shell is used. It's because Lu Chen feels that the other party has no soul, or that there is no autonomous soul. Domestic violence can't awaken his sense of resistance. Lu Chen had to admit it again. His heart was moved. This shell gave him a primal impulse. The brain wants to do something uncontrollably. When I saw the paper tape on the table, Lu Chen instantly sobered up again. Let's take the money first. Money is the last word. Lu Chen lifted the paper. The bad goes out. I feel that something is wrong. Just take the money away is definitely not a no-go. The landlord will think that the landlord has done something wrong. Domestic violence will get worse. The landlady was unlickable though. But Lu Chen didn't want the other party to be implicated because of this money. He sat back on the edge of the bed while stroking the landlady's slender thighs. While thinking about what to do next, I didn't have a good idea for a while. If the money is gone, the landlord is definitely going to get in trouble with the landlord. If you want the landlady to be free from domestic violence, it's really tricky to deal with. Think about it. Lu Chen decided to come up with a bad idea, completely muddy the water on the second floor. Well, that's it. The landlady has a slippery skin, and it's resilient. Lu Chen couldn't help but pat it gently. Footsteps rang out in the hallway. Red washes dishes in the communal kitchen. Lu Chen took the opportunity to sneak into Xiaogan's room. The scumbag is still immersed in front of the computer desk. This kid is less than 12 o'clock. It is estimated that it will not be offline. Lu Chen saw half a bottle of drink on the dining table. Quickly take out the paper packet. I poured a portion of the medicine into it. Reed comes back from the kitchen. A few more laundry items. The continuous business made him sweat. He finally stopped being stingy, decided to go to the bathroom and take a shower. Lu Chen was secretly anxious. They don't drink. The rest of the plan could not be carried out. He'll wait. Gotta find a way to help them get their drinks. Little Red went to the bathroom. I can't see the situation in the bedroom. Xiao Wang has always been immersed in computer games. It's about the same as a dead man. Lu Chen seized the opportunity straight to the ground. The drink was poured directly into the 2 teacups on the table. About the drink equally between the cups, Little Reed came out of the bathroom. He didn't have pajamas. There are no bath towels either. You have to pay for those things. He was reluctant. He found a vest in the improvised closet and put it on. Turning his head, he saw the drinks on the table. I couldn't help but smile sweetly. Xiaowang rarely poured himself a drink. Such a sweet thing is naturally satisfying. Red gulped down one of the drinks. Another cup was brought to Xiaowang's computer desk. It's so rare. Remember to pour me a drink, Xiaogan said with a sense of satisfaction. Lu Chen was taken aback. The heart said that this is to be a goof. Xiaowang's whole mind is on the game. I didn't care what Xiaogan said at all. It's just secretly agreeing. Lu Chen let out a sigh. Xiaowang is such a stupid thing. Xiaowang drank all the drinks in the cup. Ignored Xiaogan again. Xiaogan was still affectionate just now. Seeing that Xiaowang reacted coldly. Very boring to go to bed. It didn't take long onset of drug effects. Little Reed fell asleep soundly. Not long after, Xiaowang also lay on the computer desk. Lu Chen walked to the bedside. He pinched Xiaogan's arm, very thin, which is a sign of malnutrition. The skin is slightly darkened. There is no shine. It is also a sign of malnutrition. Living with a scumbag like a Xiaowang, what a suffering. Exclamation to exclamation, the plan still has to be carried out. Lu Chen returned to the South Landlord's room, carried the South Landlord to Xiaogan's room. At this time, the South Landlord was completely unconscious. Under somebody's thumb, Lu Chen looked around, thinking about where to put the South Landlord. After thinking about it, I still think it's good under the bed. So he stuffed the South Landlord directly under the bed. It done, Lu Chen let out a sigh of relief. He was tired and simply lay down on the bed to rest. Before I knew it, I fell asleep. I don't know how long it took. Lu Chen touched Xiaogan next to him. Sudden and direct physical contact. made Lu Chen wake up in an instant. He had a big head for a while. Look at the sleeping little raid beside her. I kept grabbing each other involuntarily with my hands. Nemus today. That's it. Lu Chen didn't want to suppress his emotions anymore, have a real freewheeling experience. Just when Lu Chen was about to tear Xiaogan's vest, Tomri gave the upper hand. I can't be too impulsive. Once you leave your own experience, it will surely become evidence of a crime. Predictable, tonight's events are bound to be earth-shattering. It may not be possible to alarm the police. You can't get involved in it. It is not possible to leave clues to be investigated. Lock a person in with enforced detection technology. It's not a matter of minutes. Lu Chen resisted the impulse in his heart with great perseverance. Quietly closed the doors to rooms, go back to the attic and sleep. Early the next morning, there was a fierce squirrel downstairs. The scumbagger Xiaoan was loudly questioning the male landlord. Why would they hide under their own bed? Why didn't you wear clothes? What makes your Xiaoan even more intolerable is his daughter-in-law Xiaogan was also disheveled. No man with a bloody nature will sit idly by. The blue landlord was at a loss for words. He himself was confused. How could I sleep in someone else's room? It's not that I'm getting drunk. Impossible. I usually drink so much alcohol. I've never been confused. This is really evil, seeing that the landlord in the south did not answer. Confirmed his judgment even more. The blue landlord is plotting against him. He couldn't take it anymore, rushed up and slapped the landlady twice. The landlady glared angrily at a pair of panda eyes. Or is he a loser? Slapping is something he absolutely cannot tolerate. But he didn't wear any clothes. What's the matter with lying under someone's bed? I can't really explain it. He knew he was wrong. I can only endure it. The scumbagger Xiaoang did not intend to let the male landlord go. He rushed up to chase the landlady like crazy, chase and fight all the way. Used both hands and feet, beat the landlady from the house to the hallway. Inside hit the stairs from the hallway again. The landlady finally couldn't take it anymore. I didn't do anything myself. Why should you be beaten? He also struck. He shook his fist at her Xiaoan. The two fought from the hallway to the hallway. Hit the room from the hallway again. Little Raid woke up. Look at the two men in a mess again. He instinctively screamed, then he burst into tears. Xiaoan and the landlady were startled by the scream. Stop for a while. As neighbors, Sister Mei and Xiao, were awakened early. At first, neither of them the door, because it can be heard from the content of the quarrel. This kind of thing is not suitable for women to go out and fight. Later, Zhuang and the landlady did it. Sister Mei and Xiao didn't go out either. Two men fight. Women can't stop it. Later, Lit screamed. Sister Mei couldn't help at first. Pushed the door open and check on the situation. Protected Xiaogan for the first time. Find clothes for Xiaogan to put on. Zhuang finally called the police. He's a scumbag though. Doesn't contribute anything to the family. There is no care for Xiaogan. I just know how to ask for it blindly. But when self-esteem is insulted, he still broke out. Calling the police is his last dignity as a man. The blue landlord thinks he has done nothing wrong. Neither hindered, Renner Xiaoan dialed the police. Lu Chen has been watching in the attic, although I didn't see the specific situation. But you can also understand it if you listen to it. The police came, take Zhuang and the male landlord away for investigation. Xiaogan was also taken away to cooperate with the investigation. The landlady finally woke up. She looked terrified, not sure what happened. I saw my husband being taken away. Also hurriedly followed to the police station. Xiao Yui has been watching from the door. Always a bystander. See the south landlord being taken away. A gloating smile appeared on his face. Lu Chen walked down the attic. I saw Xiao Yui standing in the doorway. Say hello naturally. Xiao Yui is still a pure and friendly look. Asked Lu Chen if he had breakfast. Lu Chen said no. Would you like to eat something together? Xiao Yui smiled and waved her hand. Say you don't have time. Gotta get the back of Xiao Yui going downstairs. Lu Chen couldn't figure it out. What the hell does he do? Go to work during the day. At night, I have to kill pigs. Life is hard enough. Suddenly, Lu Chen thought of a question. Where a UI goes to work, is it a den of fraud? Thinking of this, Lu Chen broke out in a cold sweat. I actually became a neighbor with a professional fraudster. He didn't even dare to face it. Xiao Yui's angelic face. This woman is too scheming. He's not an opponent. The entrance of the Rongshen Hotel. Lu Chen was talking to Jia Xiaoyu. Have you thought about it? Lu Chen asked Zhou Zhiwo's opinion again. What to consider? Jia Xiaoyu looked puzzled. Lu Chen rolled his eyes. Forgot about it so quickly, deliberately teasing me. I've been thinking a lot lately. I really don't know which one you're referring to. It's the problem of the two of us together. Even if it's a temporary boyfriend and girlfriend, it's okay. Think of it as a probationary period. I haven't really been thinking about this lately. Let me consider another, more important issue. What a problem. There are more problems than between us, more important questions. How's car? None of them is important, Lu Chen. We are all adults. There are some issues that have to be considered. Even if you don't think about it now, it will also be faced in the near future. I feel like life is cruel, especially people like us. The burden of life begins from the moment of graduation. If weighed down on us, you could say I'm materialistic. But life is inherently made of matter. There is no material basis. Take what to live. Jia Xiaoyu looked at the rolling traffic outside the window. The mood is slightly depressed. Lu Chen's face was disdainful. Don't be so pessimistic. I promise it won't be half a year. You'll have everything you want. Jia Xiaoyu smiled. I'm serious, give me half a year. Guaranteed to impress. Lu Chen, I know you've been in a good mood lately. Did excellent. Some rewards were also given, but so what? The cruelty of life. It's not something that can be changed by the title of a good employee. We live at the bottom of society, it's a fact, even if you get 10 excellent. You can't change it, Xiaoyu, you are too pessimistic. With me, everything will be fine, it's time to get to work. Jia Xiaoyu made an okay gesture to Lu Chen. A ponytail flick walked to the staff elevator. What does okay mean? Lu Chen really couldn't figure it out. Lu Chen went to work not long ago. The personnel department suddenly notified all security guards. The meeting will take place in the security team duty room. In addition to not being able to leave the post, no absences will be permitted. The security guards are as fast as they can, assembled in the duty room. Everyone has a question mark in their minds. This was the first time that a meeting had been held in this way. What's going to be a big deal? Someone whispered to Captain Li Yang. The plenary meeting was convened in such a hurry. Is there something big going on? Li Yang said that it was arranged by the Ministry of Personnel. I don't know exactly what's going on. Sun Liulei, the manager of the Personnel Department. Arrived, the meeting officially began. The meeting was brief. It's as short as less than 3 minutes. The content of the meeting was also simple. It was a decision to be announced the hotel's parking lot is understaffed. Transferred to a parking lot to look after the vehicle. At the gate, the team members were in an uproar. Anyone can see it. It is a blatant revenge, a simple job transfer. It is up to the HR manager to make the announcement. Plenary meetings were also held, announced in public. That where revenge is. Lu Chen seized the outstanding selection place of Gao Laifai. Yulei came to replace his cousin. Everyone knows it. Caring for a parking lot is a hard job. The wind and the sun are blinded. This job was originally done by a temporary worker. The old man has been sick recently. The personnel department decided to transfer Lu Chen to fill the vacancy. Security Captain Li Yang was a little dissatisfied. Manager, you should discuss this matter with me in advance. I don't know at all. Your personnel department is on its own. Liu Lei smiled at Li Yang. Captain Li, the incident happened suddenly. There was a shortage of people in the parking lot. Though I didn't have time to discuss it with you, Li Yang is still unwilling. There are so many people in our security team. Why do you have to go to Lu Chen? Others can't. Lu Chen has just won the title of outstanding staff of the hotel. In the blink of an eye, I went to the parking lot to see the gate. It's not appropriate. Li Yang is the captain of the security team, although the level is not as good as the manager of the personnel department. But there is also a certain say in the hotel. That's why he speaks harder. Didn't save you lay any face. It's also a good time for good employees to look at the door. After all, there is no distinction between high and low jobs. Somebody has to do it. Liu Lei continued to fight. Li Yang looked displeased. I was very dissatisfied with this personnel arrangement. Captain Li is like this. Transfer the distance to the parking lot. It's not just the HR department. It is also the meeting of the entire hotel board. No one can change it. In addition, the work of the parking lot is also very important. Lu Chen couldn't adjust. I don't pick it either. You may continue to explain. The board of directors of the hotel is the highest decision-making level of Rongshan Hotel. Yulei moved the board of directors out, closed at one end of the ocean of pears, but even a fool can figure it out. Hotel board of directors, how is it possible to transfer to a security guard's position? Go pay special attention. The top of the board of directors is full and has nothing to do. Go research a security guard. It's obvious that Liu Lei is making trouble, facing Liu Lei's revenge. Lu Chen couldn't bear it. Is it to go to the parking lot? Just go. But this account must be settled, and it won't be too long. Yulei, Gao Laifai, you wait for me. The landlady welcomed a new tenant moved to the second floor. It turned out to be Lu Chen's room. The new tenant was invited by Zhao, or Ui. The 20,000 yuan was transferred to Zhao, or Ui, by this person. This man's name is Zheng Ming, less than 30 years old. Judging by the dress, good family conditions. Since 20, Gary Yuan went into the pockets of the male landlady. Xiao Ui has to go through it many times. There was no result. In the end, the landlady directly played the scoundrel. Asking for money is not kill one. Xiao Yu again was angry. There's no way, and you can't call the police. He hated the landlady so much. On impulse, he called Zheng Ming over. It can be regarded as an official meeting between netizens. Xiao Yu's purpose is clear. Deal with the landlady with the hand of truth, even if you can't get your money back. Nor can the landlady be too comfortable. Zhao, I didn't know if it was right or wrong to call the proof. A good killing plate was not made. Instead, they brought in the pigs. Zhao I was worried you could only take one step at a time. Prove that this wife must be put to good use. Zhao I told the proof that the money was transferred wrongly. Business was also delayed. You've got to give me a breath. Since we met, Zheng Ming has long been fascinated. Obey Xiao Yuai's complaints, and Ming behaved very manly. Immediately said that he wanted to vent his anger for Xiao Yui, come to the rescue of beauty with a hero. Through fasting the male landlord for money, the landlady doesn't give it. Said the money was lost. In fact, he did lose that money, the events of that day. The landlord is still confused, spent the night under Xiaowang's bed in a daze. He was beaten again. I lost the money in a daze. Zhuang finally called the police. The landlady was taken to the police station. The landlady knows he is at a loss. So he took the initiative to soften. It is not a condition to avoid half a year's rent as to tear up with her Shewa. For the sake of profitability, Xiaowang agreed and issued a letter of understanding. That's it, the 20,000 yuan is missing, facing the proof of the debt. The landlady had no money at all, just continued to play scoundrels. Asking for money is not single action, however, he still underestimated Zheng Ming's methods too much. Although this guy is not a rich second generation, but it's pretty much the same. The family is not short of money. Zheng Ming gave an ultimatum to the South landlord. Don't pay it back. He had friends in the word. The South landlord was scared. Look at Zheng Ming's momentum. It's like a fork. Think about it. The blue landlord found the bald old nine. A bald old nine is also a figure in this area. Half a shark on the back. Whoever sees it must also give 3 points. He stepped forward to support the South landlord. The blue landlord suddenly had confidence after negotiations. The proof gave the bald old nine face, promised to take a step back. But there has to be an explanation. 20,000 yuan can't be lost like this, blue landlord said. As long as the money is not mentioned, it's easy to say anything you want. Zheng Ming is also an open person, straight to the point. Ask the landlady as long as she can spend the night with her. This account was written off from the moment I first arrived. Zheng Ming became obsessed with the landlady. That figure, that look, that temperament simply fascinated her. Even compared to Zhao Yui, the landlady is not inferior. Zhao Yui has the temperament of Zhao. Yui, the landlady, has the charm of a landlady. One is the water hibiscus. One is the peach blossom after the rain. It proved that more than once the imagination came to mind. Zhao Yui and the landlady have got their hands on it. Faced with unreasonable demands for proof, the landlady went through a fierce ideological struggle. I even agreed to make a deal, through a serious warning to the landlady. Everybody's a gentleman, a man who stands up to the sky, words count, whoever repents. Who's the bastard? The South landlord was also unambiguous. Replied sternly, inquire around here? Am I the one whose words don't count? The two of them drank 3 cups of 2 pots. This matter is a foregone conclusion. As for when the specific deal will be completed, you have to think long term. The landlord will have some time to arrange, seeing to scumbags. Negotiate a deal right under your nose. The bald old nine were inspired. He excused himself and left, of course. He didn't go far. I went to the Xiaowang house next door. The bald old knights was Xiaowang. There is no mud and water. Straight to the point, he asked Xiaowang to pay back. Otherwise, he looks good. It turned out that Zhuang had borrowed money from the bald old nine. He was short of money to buy equipment to play games. Borrowed money from the bald old nine. Xiaowang didn't even have a job. So I never repaid the loan. The bald old nine is not a philanthropist. There is interest in borrowing from him, calculated as compound interest. The money borrowed by Zhuang has been doubled, facing the debt collection of the bald old nine. Zhuang looked helpless. He really didn't have any money, Brother Jay. You will give a few more days. Xiaogan will be paid in a few days. It will definitely be on when the time comes. Xiaowang requested. The bald old nine looked impatient. Then it would be a few days. How many days have passed? Say it yourself, even if the little red is paid. Nothing left to pay off the debt. Is it enough? What do you eat? You know how to play games all day long. I don't care about eating or drinking. Xiaowang was speechless. Let's talk about the ugly ahead. Don't think that Brother J.I.U. I'm so fooled. The people of the way who do not know. I'm bald. If you don't pay it back, you're welcome. You won't have to suffer a bit. The bald old man had a gloomy face. Kill the chicken with a face half a shark tattooed on its chest. Trembling with the fat, Xiaoming's face turned pale with fright. He had never seen such momentum. My breath became trembling. Seer Xiaowang's bear-like. The bald old nine deliberately softened his expression a little. Asked Xiaogan in a concerned tone, how much is the monthly salary? 1,800 still. It's only 1,800 after such hard work. Xiaogan works day and night to earn money. You don't feel distressed. It's distressing, but there's nothing it can do. I haven't found a job yet. I can only rely on him first. According to Xiaogan's salary, even if you use your salary, pay off your debts. I'm afraid it will take months to pay it off. What you eat and drink these months, you keep saying that you feel sorry for Shogun. How I didn't see it, the bald old wind deliberately sarcastically mocked her Xiaowan. He had a headache at the thought of so much debt. I thought that half a year's salary would pay off my debts. And stop eating, drinking, and stop the game, those days are unimaginable. He can tolerate not eating or drinking, however. Disconnection from the internet and disconnection from the game will never be tolerated, looked at a Xiaowan's depressed appearance. The bald old nine felt that the heat was almost over. He changed his style, pretending to be mysterious. I have a solution. It allows you to pay off your debts without paying for it. It's up to you to want it or not. Her Xiang's eyes lit up. The panda eyes formed by staying up all night flashed with a glimmer of brilliance. What away, just don't take the money. I'm willing to do anything. Don't be in a hurry to hear what I'm going to say. The bald old nine lit a cigarette. I took to Malthus very seriously. A second strong looked at the bald old nine with blank eyes. It's like looking at a savior, although he was vaguely aware. The bald old nine is not so kind, but as long as the money is not returned, he thinks that the other party is the savior. The bald old nine spat out a puff of smoke. Slowly, the debt is obvious. You can't get rid of it if you don't use money to pay out the bills. Then you'll have to settle the account with something else. Other JIU, you can say it, what to use to top the account. The bald old nine didn't speak. Instead, he looked around the room for furnishings. His gaze finally fell on Shiogon's underwear. Bun immediately guessed the other party's intentions. His face suddenly turned red. Brother JIU, this is not suitable. The bald old nine set his eyes back on her Zhuang. Well, since you don't think it's appropriate, that's it. Let's pay it back. Paying back the money is clearest. You have been raising money for the past 2 days. I'll pick it up the day after tomorrow. Seeing the bald old nine, he got up to leave. Her Zhuang was almost crying. Hey you hurry up and raise money. I'm telling you, don't be reckless, otherwise take care of you. The bald old nine responded coldly. Think of the results to face in 2 days. Her Xiaowan fought a cold war. I'm really desperate now. Her Zhuang had to give up the last shred of dignity. Brother JIU, let me think about it again. Think about a fart. You have a choice, or pay back. Either her Xiaowan fell into a fierce ideological struggle. Either in July and August, rain is a regular visitor. It was raining heavily throughout the afternoon. Gao Life, I asked Lu Chen to stick to the parking lot in the name of dedication. The rain was too heavy. Not with a raincoat either. The clothes on his body quickly soaked through. Lu Chen stood in the heavy rain ringing a lot. Is it so cruel between people? Just a small hotel. The intrigue inside is already suffocating. So what about being in the whole big society? The weak and the strong are always the basic principles of survival. Only you become strong to be in the upper echelons of the pyramid. To be free from humiliation, Lu Chen's desire to become stronger was stronger than ever. I'm going to be strong, he roared in his heart. Rain cats and dogs, Lu Chen still persevered. Out an inch out of the parking lot, he was showing weakness to Gao Life Eye. Then give the opponent a thunderous blow. Let's let the other party get scared first. There were times when he cried, my own sins today. Be sure to make the other party repay tenfold. Aker pulls into the parking lot. It was a middle-aged man who was driving. He saw Lu Chen sticking to his post in the heavy rain. I couldn't help but show a different color, so I lowered the window. Said to Lu Chen, young man, hurry up and avoid it. Rain bar? Beware of drenching the body. Lu Chen shook his head. It doesn't matter. I can hold on. The middle-aged man nodded. I appreciate Lu Chen's dedication and perseverance. He handed an umbrella out of the window. Lu Chen waved his hand. There's a step needed. The middle-aged man still handed the umbrella to Lu Chen. It's good that young people are engaged. Your body is just as important. Bring this umbrella with you. Beware of a serious illness. Lu Chen still wanted to excuse himself, but the middle-aged man had already driven away. Watch the car go away. Lu Chen, I wonder if this person is so familiar. I seem to have seen it somewhere. Security Dewey room. Looked at Lu Chen, who was drenched in the rain in the parking lot. Gao Life, I was very satisfied. That's what happens when you go against yourself. Wu Shuai was accompanying him, a crocodile's face. When I saw Lu Chen holding an umbrella, Gao Life Ai's face changed immediately. It becomes ugly. It's as if playing an umbrella is something unforgivable. Gao Life I was furious in his heart, who asked Lu Chen to use an umbrella. What qualifications does he have to play an umbrella? Seeing Gao Life Ai's calm face, Wu Shuai immediately guessed the other party's thoughts. He said, Captain Gao with the media, do you want me to go to the parking lot to supervise Lu Chen? Gao Life I nodded. That's a good idea. You go to the parking lot and check on me now. Give me Lu Chen's umbrella and confiscate it. Tell him that umbrellas are not allowed during work hours. Okay, Wu Shuai smiled charmingly. I got up and went out. It was raining too much outside. Wu Shuai put on a raincoat and trot to the parking lot. Seeing Wu Shuai walking towards him, Lu Chen ignored him. I don't want to say a word to this psychopath, seeing that Lu ignored him. Wu Shui's self-esteem was greatly damaged. You have to give each other a little color. Lu Chen, who asked you to use an umbrella, hand over the umbrella. Wu Shuai yelled at Lu Chen. Lu Chen still ignored it. I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me? Hand in the umbrella. Hey now, Lu Chen skimmed the 5 handsome eyes. I'll give you the umbrella. You braved the rain and came to me just to get this umbrella. To the working hours who let you play the umbrella. Head it over quickly. Can't you use an umbrella during working hours? Which one is stipulated in the hotel? Is it employee code or hotel rules? Okay, you don't talk nonsense. You've only been here for a few days. You still talk to me about the rules. Umbrella at work. Who gives you the right? Lu Chen, I warn you, don't be bored. Hurry up and hand over the umbrella. Okay, since you can't use an umbrella. Then lend me your raincoat, Wu Shuai sneered. What do you think? Now can I lend you my raincoat? Lu Chen also smiled. That's weird, since you can wear a raincoat. Why can't I have an umbrella? Who's the rule? I said, Lu Chen. You're a dead duck with a hard mouth. Didn't you ask who set the rules? I'm telling you, it was the Vice Captain Gao, Lia Fiading. You don't listen to him. Now life I is a fart. Lu Shen didn't plan to endure it any longer. Lu Shen, I think you're crazy, since you don't take Captain Gao in your eyes. Wu Shuai, I'd like to ask you, why are you so flattering Gao Life Ai? Is he your own father? It's up to you to find out. Wu Shuai was completely furious. Shen Ya Wu looked for unrushed towards Lu Chen. Lu Chen saw Wu Shuai rushing over with his teeth open. I'm not used to each other. He closed the umbrella, used it as a weapon in your hand. Slammed it and smashed it at Wu Shuai. There is no guy in the hands of the 5 marshals. I saw the umbrella fall on me. You could only dodge left and right. Lu Chen used an umbrella as a weapon and was handy. He let go completely. Regardless of the consequences, let's fight first. The umbrellas were smashed towards the 5 marshals one after another. The 5 handsomes are barehanded suffered a big loss in an instant. Despite repeated dodges, there was still an umbrella on his body. Another umbrella, Gao Life Ai, has been watching from the building. Seeing that Wu Shuai, I, and Lu Chen had made a move, his eyes lit up. Feel the opportunity to come, immediately sent a few security guards to help Wu Shuai. The security guards looked embarrassed, Captain Gao. That's not quite right. How inappropriate? When I say fit, it's suitable. Lu Chen is something. Care to do it, my people? Now go and beat me to death. Lu Chen must be sent to the infirmary. He won't be able to get into the infirmary. I'll ask you, several security guards looked at each other. Now that Captain Gao has spoken, then let's fight. Several people put on raincoats and walked to the parking lot. Security guard Zhao Yu saw that Lu Chen was going to suffer. Secretly called the captain Lie Che Yang when a couple of security guards came to the parking lot. Lu Chen had already knocked Wu Shuai to his stomach. Wu Shuai lay on the ground and screamed, but the rain was too heavy. The sound of the rain completely drowned out the howls of Wu Shuai. At this time, the captain Li Che Yang also came. The escalation of the incident was stopped in time. Wu Shuai suffered a big loss while wiping the blood from his face. While complaining to Li Che Yang, said that Lu Chen beat people for no reason. Li Che Yang gave Wu Shuai a blank look, and he deserved to be beaten. It's okay to run to the parking lot for something? Is this your duty area? Wu Shuai's face was more ugly than eating bird droppings. The news said that this meal hit white cancer. It's really bad luck. He took the umbrella and went back to Gao Life Ai to complain. Several other security guards saw Lie Che Yang talking to Lu Chen. Don't dare to talk to yourself about it, Grey Gone. Gao Life Ai looked at the umbrella that had been torn to pieces. And the marshal commander who was beaten into a pig's head. With a gloomy face, he wanted to settle accounts with Lu Chen. At this time, a security guard who knew the good spoke. This umbrella is not simple. You can't buy it on the market at all. It is an exclusive accessory for some kind of luxury car. Don't look at it as just an umbrella, it's worth thousands of dollars. With Gao Life, I almost knocked out her eyeballs. A broken umbrella is worth thousands. Everyone present couldn't help but think about it. Lu Chen actually has a good umbrella. What's the big background behind it? At night, Lu Chen dragged it wet, the body comes home. Changed into dry clothes, lying on the bed and looking at the ceiling board lie. Lane, what are the tenants doing downstairs? Lu Chen was curious. Put on the cloak of invisibility, lightly went to the 2nd floor. The landlady on the 2nd floor braved the rain to buy a few side dishes. Have a drink with the landlady was touched. I've never seen a landlady so gentle. He happily bought a bottle of red wine at the supermarket downstairs. I want to be romantic with my husband. The landlady couldn't have imagined it anyway. A great conspiracy awaits him. And the mastermind of the conspiracy is the husband who gets a long day and night. Another room, Zhuang was also drinking. His mood was extremely conflicted between man and demon. He's still struggling, although he promised the bald old 9. But when I saw Xiaogan's busy figure, Xiang's heart still ached. He's a scumbag. It's not to the point of madness. Use Xiaogan's body to pay off debts. He really didn't want to, but I had to bow to reality. The landlady drank high, under the onslaught of the landlady's sweet words. Defenseless drank high. She trusts her husband too much. drunk to the point of unconsciousness in a piece of tenderness. Another room. Xiaolong finally relented while Xiaogan is not paying attention. Pour a packet of medicinal noodles into a water cup. Watched Xiaogan gradually fall asleep. Xiaolong's body was trembling. The facial features are distorted. It's like falling into a bottomless ice cave. Each followed by the sound of heavy closings, the South landlord walked down the stairs. Zhuang also left his room in despair. The stumbling body almost fell several times. I don't know if I'm drunk or scared. Two sinful deals under the cover of heavy rain. It is about to happen. The second form came to the chess and card room downstairs. The landlady was found to be there. Both of them have their own agendas, although occasionally glance at each other, but no one spoke. Lu Chen saw it, everything that happened in both rooms. The darkness and ugliness of human nature exposed in front of him as a bystander. He could, of course, ignore it, but when innocent and poor women are seen, unconscious when the catastrophe began, he decided to take care of it anyway. The machinations of the wicked cannot be allowed to succeed. Lu Chen asked for the white in his hand, evenly out to servings. One was added to the landlady's wine, the other was put into the little red cup. Speaking of which, I would like to thank Liu Lei. If it weren't for him providing such an interview, a lot of the plans don't. Footsteps sounded in the stairwell. Proof went upstairs first. This guy is a little impatient. Even taking the key to open the door is a bit hairy. Lu Chen hid in the corner and waited for the show to start. The moment the door was open, the proof is like the long, stark Shiba dog. Bounced to trembling hands reached out to the landlady. He was so excited. So much so that I became very short of breath. It's as if the brain is going to be deprived of oxygen. Lu Chen witnessed everything. An impulse surged over me. I really want to rush up and beat up the proof. This perverted guy is not wrong to death. It proves that he naturally does not know about Lu Chen's existence. Didn't know that Lu Chen had the urge to kill him. Full attention is proven at this point. It's all on the landlady. His hands were still shaking. Several attempts were made to unbutton the landlady's blouse. None of them worked out. He quickly lost his patience. The two hands kept tearing. There was a snorting, cracking sound from the clothes. The landlady frowned. Instinctively, he twisted his body, seeing that the landlady was not fully asleep. Zheng Ming didn't dare to respond. I had to sit in a chair and wait patiently. I stumbled upon a glass of red wine on the table. She picked it up and drank it down. Lu Chen was relieved now. The heart says you're here. I drank it for a while. Onset of drug effects. Look what you're still talking about. Zheng Ming put the wine glass down right beside the landlady. Tentatively touched the other's fingers. This time there was no reaction from the other party. It is estimated that he fell asleep completely. Zheng Ming's courage grew. To hands grabbed the landlady's coat and want to tear it off hard. I don't know if it's because the strength is not enough or the angle is wrong. It took a lot of effort, but it didn't work. The stupid Lu Chen scolded secretly. He couldn't figure it out. What is the meaning of Zheng Ming's existence? Increased social instability. Zheng Ming's forehead was sweating. He had to adjust his posture a bit, keep pulling down. After a few attempts, it worked. Zheng Ming tossed the tattered coat aside. There was finally a winner's smile on his face, but this is only the first step in the long march. The next action is what he dreamed of. The position of the landlady's shoulders and collarbone. There were a few faint bruises, but suffer as a result of domestic violence. She always wore a long-sleeve tunic, presumably to cover up the trauma on the body, proof of no longer shortness of breath. I have gradually adapted to this atmosphere. She crouched next to the landlady. A slight sound poked out, sniffing the opposite sex hard. The aura that emanates from the body, like a greedy teddy dog. Lu Chen has been secretly observing Liu to say this perverted guy. He'll look good in a while. At the same time, I feel unworthy for the landlady. Suffering from domestic violence is already a great sorrow in the world. He was betrayed by his husband. There is no greater misfortune in life than this. It proves that there is no mercy and humanity of Lu Chen at all. This kid is hell-bent on thrills, of course. This stimulus is built on the pain of others. It's a complete bestial act. He tried to lift the waistcoat off the landlady. Flipped away to cover the other person's face. Lu Chen made a decisive move. Stop! He will not let Zheng Ming mess around without a bottom line. If the landlord though a little vitriol, but nature is not bad. He would not let Zheng Ming's plot succeed. Lu Chen gently patted Zheng Ming's shoulder. The latter was taken aback. I couldn't help but turn my head and watch. Nothing. Zheng Ming let out a sigh. The spirit is too intense. There was a hallucination. Lu Chen saw it very clearly from the side. There are also scars on the lower abdominal arms with the landlord. It must also be the result of domestic violence. It's hard to imagine how miserable his daily life is. It's hard to imagine there is such sadness behind such a strong woman. Prove the eagerness to get to the point, but the movements gradually became sluggish. It's like a very sleepy Shiba dog. He struggled to keep himself awake. However, it can't be done. The effects of the drug are kicking in. The brain is getting more and more confused until he is completely unconscious. Look at the proof of being unconscious on the floor. Lu Chen kicked hard, succeed with flying colors. Lu Chen opened the door and walked out of the room. Footsteps rang out in the hallway again. It's the bald old nine. The guy came back as promised. Lu Chen could see it clearly in the corner of the corridor. The heart says, it's just right. Just cleaned up a Shiba dog. Let's clean up a black bear again. Red's room is unlocked. The bald old nine pushed the door in, looking at Xiaogan lying on the bed. The muscles in his face trembled, heavy breathing filled the room, a huge shadow cast over the walls. Like a hulking black bear, the bald old knight sat directly on the bed. The plank bed emitted a series of heavy sizzling sounds. It seems to fall apart at any moment. He lay on his side on the bed. A hand begins to unlock Red's coat. Xiaogan fell into a coma after drinking the medicine. Perception is almost completely lost, so I didn't resist much. The bald old nine is a rough man. I do this kind of thing, but it's like an old lady embroidering, not only careful, and the fingers are flexible. It was easy to get there. The bald old nine was swollen and red. The half shark on its back also seemed to be flushed with blood. Red and red, the fat in the abdomen vibrates rhythmically with breathing. His eyes kept scanning Red's body, feel the visual impact. Lu Chen was a little embarrassed beside him. It seems that the bald old nine is not going to drink water. If he doesn't drink water, it won't work. It has no medicinal effect. The rest is harder. If this guy should come, you can't sit idly by. I can only stop it directly. Lu Chen had his own scruples. With their own small body, how can you stiffen a bear besides? Just take action to stop it. It is inevitable that you will expose yourself when the time comes. I will tear up with the bald old nine. The invisibility cloak will inevitably be torn. Their own secret weapon is ineffective. Single and dash down with the bald old nine. Lu Chen had no confidence at all. The bald old nine began to take off his clothes. The guy got grumpy. I didn't even let myself go. The fat short-sleeved vest was directly torn by himself. The slippers were also thrown directly into the corner. Lu Chen was ready to do it. The bold old nine really wants to hide it from Xiaogan. He will not hesitate to do it. Xiaogan is different from the landlady in Xiao Yui. She is an absolutely kind girl, full of love for life. He doesn't have much to pursue and expect. I just want to live a dull life. Out of instinctive compassion, Lu Chen didn't want him to be hurt in any way. The bald ancestor took out a pill from his trouser pocket, stuffed it into his mouth, picked up half a glass of water on the table, drink it all. Lu Chen was a little puzzled. Why did the bald old nine take medicine at a critical moment? It is a functional drug. Watching the bald old nine drink the water, Lu Chen let out a sigh of relief. The heart said that this guy still drank the glass of water after all. That's for the best. Save yourself a lot of trouble. The bold old nine put the water glass on the table. The shorts were also flung to the side. I can't wait to crawl into bed. Little weed lies on her side. The bald old nine hit it directly, trying to get his body straight over. Of course, Lu Chen would not let the other party succeed. You can't wait for the effects to take on any longer. It's time to do it. He came lightly behind the bald old nine, thinking about how to do it. After all, the bald old nine's figure is too burly in case stealing gas is not successful. It's troublesome to be counterattacked by the other party. How can your small body fight against a bear? Speaking of the bald old nine, it's still a bit famous in the town. This guy is very dark. It is also very resistant to hits. It is by no means comparable to the generation of the South Defense East in the Zhengmi. Therefore, Lu Chen still had a lot of scruples about him. Lu Chen was still hesitating. The bald old nine is ready to go. Look at the meaning of Mount Tai to press the top. Lu Chen's heart was horizontal. No more scruples, straight to the ground. He put his arm around the bald old man's neck. Pull back firmly. The bald old man's fat body immediately leaned back. By down, the guy instinctively put his hands behind his back. Keep your legs as close as you can. Although he fell under the bed, but it didn't hurt much. This guy broke out in a cold sweat. The heart says what's going on. It was as if there was a force in the dark that dragged him backwards. The bald old nine looked at the room. Nothing. He was still not reassured. It felt like something was strangling my neck. How could it be invisible? He looked around the room again. Still nothing. You're fucking weird. The bald old nine scolded secretly. I always felt a little uneasy in my heart. He paused slightly. Attention returned to Xiaogan. Xiaogan's body exudes a vigorous femininity. His breath is too powerful. Swept away the wisps of bald Lao Jie. I use heart. The intense desire made him refocus. At this time, Lu Chen made another move. He reached out and patted the back of the other's head. The bald old nine hurriedly turned his head to observe. Still nothing. Then he hit a ghost. He got up and took a closer look at the room. No anomalies were found. Then he returned to the bedside. Shift your attention to read again. Just when the bald old knight was ready to show off his skills, suddenly I felt a tap on the shoulder. He turned his head to observe. Still nothing. The bald old nine looks suspicious. What's going on today? Could it be an illusion? The bald old nine fox was skeptical, looking up at the ceiling in a daze. It's a ghost, just when he was thinking cranky. Lu Chen directly punched him. This punch is very powerful. Smashed directly on the bald Lao Jie. I used left eye socket. The bald old nine suddenly felt a pain in his left eye. A wave of dizziness followed. The brain is becoming less and less clear. He struggled to keep himself awake. I haven't done business yet. Brain does not listen to me at all. It's getting more and more blurry. In the end, he was completely unconscious. The fat body collapsed heavily on the bed. Next to him, Little Red fainted. Lu Chen let out a sigh of relief. Start thinking about your next steps. The rain was still falling at midnight. It seems to wash away the sins of the world. The whole city was flooded with the sound of rain. Except for the sound of rain, it was as if there was no other sound. Chess and card room. Nan, landlord Nurse Wang looked bored at the heavy rain outside. Why don't you go home? The South landlord asked her Xiaowang. You're too big to go, Wang said. His answer was absence might. It seems that there is something on the mind. You're not going home, Xiaowang asked the landlord of the South. If I don't go back, I'm going to play here all night. The South landlord was also a little absent might. To pass the time of boredom, the South landlord began to teach her Xiaowang to play mahjong. Xiaowang originally disdained to play mahjong. Think it's vulgar. It's boring right now. I also played a few games like this. Just past the time, Lu Chen began to set up the scene, moved the certificate out of the landlady's room. Moved directly into Xiaogan's room, Prue slept like a dead dog. Lu Chen kicked with his foot, simply stuffed it directly under Xiaogan's bed. Lu Chen ignored the bald old nine. That's all he had for tonight. Next up is Little Reed. Lu Chen moved Xiaogan out of the room, moved directly to the landlady's room. He hesitated for a moment. Unfortunately, he stuffed Xiaogan under the landlady's bed. Leave the landlady to sleep peacefully in her bed. Lu Chen was very satisfied with his arrangement. Now it's all right. Everyone can sleep soundly. The next day, Lu Chen went to work early. As for what will happen on the second floor, he didn't want to see it, don't want to know either. He still has hotel things to keep busy. The bald old wine is the first to wake up. He swallowed the smallest dose of the drug. To wake up first, the bald old nine opened his eyes. I found no one around. Little Reed is gone. He was secretly annoyed. Why were you so sleepy last night? I didn't even do anything to sleep before I got down to business. No, it seems that something has been done. It's not right. It shouldn't have been done. The bald old nine himself is confused. Last night's events were getting more and more blurred. He got out of bed in a daze. An arm was found exposed under the bed. He thought it was Xiaogan. Instead, when Xiaogan went under the bed, the bald old nine pulled the man out by the arm. It was found that it was not Xiaogan. It's a special proof. His anger instantly hit his head. Punch at the proof. Proof has finally been woken up. Call the bald old nine punching and kicking himself. Look at the room you were in. Instantly understood what was going on. Dude, don't listen yet. I explained the proof while holding my head, while begging for mercy. The bald old nine didn't talk either. Fists rained down. It is not easy to prove that it is reasonable crawling out of the room. He couldn't figure it out anyway. I was obviously in the landlady's room. How could it appear under Xiaogan's bed in another room with a scream from Little Reed? The landlady was woken up. The two women looked at each other. Didn't understand what was going on. Everything that happens on the second floor has nothing to do with the distance. He had already gone to work at the hotel. In recent days, a big thing happened in the hotel. The board of directors decided to transfer the hotel in its entirety. The buyers have already been preliminarily decided. It is the famous Aienshin Group. Seemingly, the rumors that made a fuss a few days ago are true. Aienshin Group has a person in charge of the group. I will be visiting the hotel, get to know all aspects of the hotel. For the transfer and acquisition of the hotel, provide first-hand information. Whether the hotel can be transferred successfully, this expedition is crucial. It can be said that it plays a decisive role. The hotel was busy. Serious preparations are being made in various departments. Try to make a good impression on the delegation. We will strive to complete the transaction just this morning. There is new news from the Taienshin Group. The delegation of Taienshin Group is here today. An initial tour of the hotel will be conducted. The news is out. The hotel was suddenly busy. All departments are stepping up preparations. Lu Chen also received a notice from the security team. It's important to brace your spirits today. Maintain order in the parking lot. Every car should be parked neatly. The weather in August is so fickle. It was raining just now. In the blink of an eye, the sun was already high. Lu Chen was exposed to the sun. Soon, I was sweating. He secretly cursed Liu Liangdao, Life Eye. The heart says you are waiting for this ugly old man. Sooner or later, the sun will be rewarded. Aker pulled into the parking lot. Start looking everywhere for a parking space due to the rain yesterday. Today's parking space was surprisingly tight. It was completely occupied. The car couldn't find a parking space. You can only keep going, drove directly to Lu Chen. The windows are down. A middle-aged man poked his head out, said to Lu Chen, "Do you still have a parking space?" Lu Chen looked at the driver in the car very familiarly. "I think I've seen it somewhere. Yes, I remember. He was the one who gave him an umbrella yesterday. No, I should have seen it before yesterday." Lu Chen finally remembered. It was in the restaurant hall that day. A middle-aged man took a lot of photos of the hotel. It's that he's here again today. Lu Chen vaguely understood something. "There is also a parking space. Please come with me." Lu Chen spoke, while leading the other party to find a parking space in the innermost part of the parking lot. Several parking spaces have been set aside for the interior of the hotel. The hotel's leaders used to be able to park their cars here. Lu Chen directly put the car. I received a dedicated parking space inside the hotel. The car is parked. The middle-aged man got out of the car and thanked Lu Chen. Lu Chen waved his hand and said that this was what he should do. At this time, another car came by. See that the parking space is occupied. Looks very dissatisfied. Honk your horn at landing, Chen. The lodger knew that it was Liu Lei, the manager of the personnel department. Liu Lei saw that the only parking space was occupied by outsiders, very angry. Get out of the car directly and point at Lu Chen's nose and roar. "Are you stupid? I don't know if this is an internal dedicated parking space. Outsiders can stop here casually." Lu Chen was not used to the other party. Directly refuted manager, "You're not right, are you? People who come to stay in the hotel are guests. Can guests be considered outsiders? Our hotel's mission is to treat our customers as family. Can't let one of your relatives even occupy a parking space. The customer is God. God pause. Cars don't work." Liu Lei's face turned pale with anger. Never expected Lu Chen to dare to contradict himself. He continued to point to Lu Chen's nose. "Do you know who you're talking to? Today I have an important task. If it's delayed, can you afford it? I don't care what your tasks are. My task is to take care of the parking lot. Make every customer who parks a lot satisfied." Lu Chen is neither humble nor arrogant, but there is a knife hidden in the cotton. Liu Lei was so angry that he almost squirted out a mouthful of cat blood. A small security guard dared to talk back to him. "Okay, you wait for me. It won't be 3 days. I'll tell you to get out of here. Liu Lei, don't think you're great. There is no master here. There is a place to stay with the grandfather. Parking spaces are given to customers. You like to park your car. What to do with love? Lu Chen, are you crazy? You know who you're talking to. Liu Lei, don't take yourself too seriously. The customer is God and is not. Don't want me to treat you like an uncle." Lu Chen didn't plan to endure it today. Happily fight with Liu Lei to relieve his anger at the same time. He was also gambling. Man next to the bed has a special background. Liu Lei drove away in a huff just as their work hours leaving. Liu Lei parked the car, watched Liu Lei enter the hotel angrily. Lu Chen's heart was indescribably happy. The middle-aged man witnessed what had just happened. He said to Lu Chen with a smile, "Young man, was it wrong just now?" Lu Chen waved his hand and was not aggrieved. Parking spaces should be prioritized by customers. Isn't the department manager amazing? The manager is also an employee of the hotel. It should also be at the service of the customer. Look at his virtue. Barking like a mad dog, the middle-aged man nodded, and what the young man said made sense. That person is going to fire you. Aren't you afraid? I'm not afraid. I have a clear conscience. The middle-aged man nodded. I appreciate Lu Chen's attitude. At this time, another car entered the parking lot. Lu Chen hurried. They've been finding a parking space in the past. The middle-aged man opened the side door of the car. An old man got out of the car. The old man was dressed in ordinary clothes. No matter how you look at it, it doesn't look like a big shot. But the middle-aged man was respectful to him. It's like a relationship between superiors and subordinates. The middle-aged man accompanied the old man to the door of the hotel. The two were in no hurry to get in. Instead, he stopped and watched. In order to welcome the arrival of the delegation, the red carpet has already been rolled out at the entrance of the hotel. Go down the stairs from the outside, all the way to the lobby of the hotel. Security guard and doorman at the door, they are all rigorously screened. Elliot energetic, the glass in the hotel has been ray-washed from top to bottom. Fresh and bright in the sun, the old man nodded. The external image of the hotel is still good. Worthy of a 4-star standard, the middle-aged man accompanies the old man. Walked towards the hotel lobby. Seeing this, the security guard stretched out his hand to stop him. Tell the two that they can't walk the red carpet. The middle-aged man and the old man looked at each other. Don't let the red carpet walk. How do I enter the hotel lobby? The security guard said that you could go through the corner gate next to it. The main entrance is now closed to all traffic. The middle-aged man didn't understand. Isn't the main entrance just for customers to come in and down? Why is it forbidden to pass? The security guard was getting impatient. However, I patiently explained that there was a distinguished guest arriving today. A red carpet is for distinguished guests. Someone else stepped on it first. Wouldn't it stain the red carpet? The middle-aged man still didn't understand. Customers are also divided into distinguished customers and poker. Ordinary customers, there is not even the right to enter the hotel from the main entrance. The security guard said it was just one day. It's fine after today. What else does a middle-aged man want to ask? The security guard completely lost his patience, turning his head away. He ignored it. Konjiban Gaudi saw the middle-aged man grinding unsure, impatiently said that if you want to go in, you will go through the foot door. If you don't go in, get out of the way, don't get in the way here. A man in the middle frowned when he heard this. This is you. That's how I treat my customers. What can you do with me? The middle-aged man was both angry and helpless. I couldn't help but smile wryly and shake my head. Konjiban Gaudi was even more proud. He shook his head. Middle-aged men are not angry either. Turn your head and ask the old man for his opinion. The old man said that John Men is John Men. Let's talk about excellent dramas. The two walked into the hotel lobby. There was no shadow of the delegation for a whole day. Hotel management is like an ant on a hot pot, prepared for so long. The other party won't miss the appointment, or is there something else that has changed? The chairman of the hotel had to call Tanshin Group in person, ask when the delegation will come. Received a reply to the sergeant. The chairman and assistant of the group have arrived. Arrived at the hotel, the chairman looked dazed and the entire hotel management was in a mess. Just when it's time to get off work, the hotel suddenly notified all staff to attend an emergency meeting. Except for those who really can't leave their posts. No one else will be allowed to be absent. Lu Chen was the only one who took care of the parking lot. So he had to stay at his post, can't go to meetings. The mission suddenly made a special request. Be sure to attend with the security guard who takes care of the parking lot. He doesn't start without attending the meeting. The general manager of the hotel was confused, just the security guard in charge of the parking lot. Why enjoy this treatment? Still, he complied. After all, the Tanshin Group did not dare to offend. Lu Chen received a notice of the meeting, so I came to the conference room in the negative building. The meeting room is huge. It can accommodate more than 500 people at the same time. Lu Chen entered the conference room. Instantly recognized the man sitting in the middle of the podium. It was in the parking lot, the middle-aged man who was talking to him, as expected. The other party is very big. Lu Chen was secretly happy. There's a good show to watch. The old man who came with the middle-aged man, I did not attend the meeting. The status of the parliamentarian family is too high. As the chairman of Tanshin Group, there will be no attendance at such low-level meetings at all. According to the grapevine, Chairman Zhao had already left the hotel as early as noon. Went to another company in the city for inspection. Middle-aged men, as representatives of the Tanshin Group. An important speech will be made. His speech was seen as a weather vane. Can the transfer be completed? It all depends on the content of the speech. The general manager of the hotel personally presided over the meeting. I was introduced to the employees, assistant to the chairman of Tanshin Group, Mr. Wang Zombiao, and warmly welcomed Assistant Wang's speech. Lu Chen was taken aback. It's not easy to guess this middle-aged man. But I didn't guess that the other party was so simple. Assistant to the chairman of a prestigious consortium, Tayuti is simply a legendary existence. Yunlei and Gao Life eyes backs work old. The heart is finished. It's completely over. They know best what they did today. I didn't expect to hit nail. If this Wang Zombiao is high, he will bump into it. If you don't get a job, you have to lose it. Wang Zombiao represents the chairman of Tanshin Group. A brief statement was made. First of all, the preparation of the hotel was affirmed. In order to meet this expedition, the employees have given a lot. It was mentioned later, very disappointed with some people and some things. Chairman Zhao came to the hotel as a customer, didn't feel at home. What I experienced was snobbery and sycophancy. The chairman of the board of directors was very dissatisfied with this inspection. As for whether to acquire the hotel, the pending voice just fell. The entire conference room was cold. This is a very bad sign. The transfer of the hotel seems to have reached a dead end. The future is bleak. In order to lighten the atmosphere, the general manager of the hotel invited Wang Zombiao as an assistant. Give some tips to the hotel will have the right to rectify. Try to reach the Tanshin set as soon as possible. Requirements for the regiment. Wang Zombiao took out Chairman Zhao. A pair of handwritten calligraphy. Make guests feel at home. The general manager of the hotel said solemnly, it must be rectified according to these 4 words. Wang Zombiao made another personal suggestion. There is one person who should be reused. It's the security guard in the parking lot. Yulei and Gao Life, I listened. The head was buzzing and said that Lu Chen, this kid is really shit luck. An announcement was made by the hotel's board of directors that night. Lu Chen was appointed as the deputy captain of the hotel security team. Gao Life I is both older than one's suspension for reflection. Yulei reported that the reversal of criticism came too quickly. Lu Chen felt like he was in a dream. Promoted to deputy captain of the security service. He finished from ordinary employees, transitioned to management. Half a month has passed in the blink of an eye. Tanshin Group has been reluctant to sign the acquisition agreement. The hotel board of directors urged several times in a row. There was no effect at all. The entire hotel board is like an ant on a hot pot, except for the round and fourth. There is no way the hotel shareholders are genuinely interested in selling the hotel. The sooner the better. As for the reason, only the shareholders themselves know. The seemingly thriving Rongshen Hotel, nominally profitable every year. If you exclude factors such as depreciation, in fact, it loses money as Rongshen Hotel. It's like a hot potato. The sooner you shoot, the better. In particular, the purchase price given by Taiyuan Group. It's very tempting. The hotel shareholders work in to broker the deal. In desperation, the hotel board of directors decides. Send someone to the headquarters of Taiyuan Group to inquire about the news. In order to carry out the necessary PR at a critical time. To show good faith, hotel board of directors, a deputy mayor of the city was specially invited. Go out in person. Though in the name of government investment lead by the deputy mayor. It's kind of a little confident if you send ordinary people to go. I'm afraid even the door of the Taiyuan Group I can't get in very quickly. Taiyuan Group has replied, the reason why the negotiations have stalled. It's because there's one thing on the hotel side that hasn't been implemented. The hotel management was puzzled. The rectification has been completed. I can't think of anything else that hasn't been implemented. I don't have a clue when I think about it. I had to entrust the deputy mayor to inquire again. Taiyuan Group replied again. Wang Zan made a special explanation before leaving. The security guard in the parking lot is going to be reused. The hotel board heard about it. The expression was as ugly as swallowing a fly. The security guard named Lu Chen. He has been promoted to deputy captain of the security team. It's not reusable yet. The deputy mayor heard it was for a security guard. The expression was very displeased, just a security guard. It is also necessary for the dignified deputy mayor to come out in person. In the future, this kind of thing will not come to me again. Find out more from your hotel itself. The hotel's board of directors met overnight, and a big decision was made. The hotel's security team is the security department. Lu Chen was appointed as the manager of the security department. The news is out. The whole hotel was in an uproar. Lu Chen is a small security guard. Promoted to manager overnight, jumped directly to the middle leadership. What is the board of directors of the hotel doing? When the appointment documents were handed over to Lu Chen resolutely did not accept it. He has his own ideas. I can't squeeze Li Heyang's position. Lu Chen thinks that Li Heyang is a good person, more than one stood for himself. He's a good guy. You can't let the good people suffer. The hotel's top leadership. At first, I thought that Lu Chen was pretending to be forced. The excuse is just a formality. I can't tell how happy I am. I'm an ordinary employee to a middle-level leader. Fools don't accept it, but as the exchange deepened, leaders identified the problem. Lu Chen really refused to accept it. It doesn't matter who persuades. Lu Chen refused. This incident really stumped the hotel senior leadership. The Taiyuan Group is still waiting for news. Don't delay too long, no way. All the top leaders of the hotel only took turns. Round after round of ideological work for Lu Chen, asked him to be promoted to the position of security manager. Lu Chen was still unmoved. It doesn't matter who persuades, just don't agree. The general manager can't come. It's still not easy for the chairman to come. The hotel's top leaders almost blew up. I've never seen anyone begging for a promotion. It's called something. If you spread it, you have to death by outsiders, helpless the board of directors of the hotel. A meeting was convened specifically for this matter. Study how to do Tom Lu Chen's ideological work in order to promote Lu Chen. These people are also very nerve-wracking. The matter would have been kept secret. I don't know which mouth passed out quickly. The staff throughout the hotel knew about it. People couldn't believe it was true. There are also such bird men in the world. Lu Chen is probably crazy. It's time to go to a psychiatric hospital for an injection. The hotel's board of directors has carefully researched. Another scheme came up with. Lu Chen's appointment as manager of the security department remains unchanged. Former security team captain Li Heyang, appointed as executive manager of security division. Meeting with the manager, the plan was not announced. Instead, he got it to Lu Chen first. Leave it up to him to decide. If you get it now, Lu Chen saw that Li Heyang had been properly settled. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. I reluctantly agreed. Several senior leaders of the hotel, my eyes almost fell off. Such favorable conditions, Lu Chen reluctantly agreed. What is this called the way of the world? Where to reason? The hotel is afraid that Lu Chen will regret it. He was allowed to take office on the same day. It's a sure thing. The first thing Lu Chen did after becoming the manager of the security department was to transfer Wu Shuai to the parking lot. Look at the gate. He is the department manager. Have the absolute right to transfer subordinate employees. And Lu Chen is now highly valued by the hotel's senior leaders. It can be said that it is red and purple. His advice is still very useful. Wu Shuai is like a frosted eggplant. How sad and sad you have to be. Caring for a parking lot is a chore. He was 10,000 not happy. But Lu Chen had something to say first. If you don't go to the parking lot and look at the gate, He will get out. Wu Shuai didn't want to lose his job. So I endured it. He secretly went to Liu Lei, the manager of the personnel department, to complain, asked Liu Lei to settle this matter. Liu Lei shook his head. He said he couldn't handle it. Today's Liu Chen is red and purple. Liu Lei didn't want to touch this brow. The coach was completely drowning. Honestly, went to the parking lot. It's been a bit of a mess in the rental house lately. Everyone lies with care. I'm afraid that something strange will happen to me. Recent times, a lot of strange things happened in the rental house. First, the landlady appeared under Xiaogan's bed in a daze. As it turned out, inexplicably appeared under Xiaogan's bed. Bed appears under the landlady's bed. Everything is weird and incredible. Strange things happen one after another. Everyone agreed that the landlady was the devil, only he could have the keys to all the rooms. That's right, that's in the way people look at the landlady has changed. This man is bold. It's better to be esoteric or far away. The landlady repeatedly explained. Didn't have any keys to my room, however, it didn't work. Tenants have changed their locks. Huddled 9 gauze wrapped around his forehead. The left eye socket is light and swollen. He never understood how his injuries came about. After thinking about it, I felt that I should have fallen by myself. That night's encounter with the Tate and the evil gate, despite the strange things, the tenants didn't people want to move out. Sister May has been staying out of the matter, naturally. She had no reason to move out, or Zhuang just got the promise of the landlady. Half a year's rent is waived, so she's not going to move either. Whether or not to move is entirely up to Xiao Yui. She's here for Xiao Yui. On the issue of moving, Xiao Yui's attitude is not clear. After all, those strange things have nothing to do with her. Her life seems unaffected. I still get to and from work on time. When he saw his neighbors, he smiled sweetly. For Xiao Yui, this person, Liu Chen, was very curious. There are too many mysteries in this woman, like an unknown treasure waiting for her to explore. Liu Chen decided to go to Xiao Yui's house again as a guest. Learn more about this mysterious woman that night. Liu Chen had dinner early, put on an invisibility cloak and wait in the hallway. Xiao Yui showed up on time. She usually comes home on time from work. Take advantage of Xiao Yui's opportunity to open the door. Liu Chen entered the room, skip over some of the trivial details of life. It was 8:30 in the evening. Xiao Yui sat down at the computer desk as usual, started a sweet chat dating game. Liu Chen lightly leaned behind Xiao Yui, gazed at the chat. Xiao Yui's work efficiency is very high. It's only been a few days, another pig-killing plate is about to be formed. Liu Chen secretly admired Xiao Yui's work ability. It's really top-notch. Just have a chat. If the pig took the bait, the chat continues. The pig-killing plate is advancing in an orderly manner. It's clear that the time is right. Xiao Yui refused to mention borrowing money. I could see that she was very patient. Liu Chen next to her was anxious for her. The heart said that you let the other party transfer the money. Judging by the content of the chat, the other party is a guy who is not bad for money. As long as the statement opens, tens of thousands of dollars can be turned around in minutes. Because the other party has fallen into the emotional trap woven by Xiao Yui. There is no resistance at all. Now the net is not closed. When Liu Chen really didn't understand the rules of this industry. Xiao Yui got up and went to the bathroom. Liu Chen felt that the opportunity had come. He quickly got into character, talked to each other in a small tone. Liu Chen quickly tapped on the keyboard. Said that there was an opportunity to make quick money recently. Cash flow is required. Asked if you can provide financial support. The other party did not hesitate, immediately asked how much to borrow. 30,000 entered. The other party directly asks for the card number. Transfer the money right away. However, the other party also has a small request. It's best to see each other recently. It is convenient to deepen feelings. Liu Chen sent Sister May's account over. This is something he has been sneaking up on recently. As for meeting each other, of course you can say yes. Anyway, I don't have any pressure. Let Xiao Yui deal with it. Liu Chen got everything done in the shortest possible time. Decisively deleted the chat history, then shut down again. The illusion of a crash was created. Xiao Yui hasn't come out of the bathroom yet. Liu Chen has already taken care of everything. And he secretly opened the door, slipped out gently. In order not to be noticed by Xiao Yui, Liu Chen simply cut off the network cable in the corridor, as long as you don't have internet access. Xiao Yui can't find the caddy yet. Wait until tomorrow when the network is restored. The money was also transferred to Sister May's card. It doesn't matter if Xiao Yui notices it. There are several network cables in the hallway. Liu Chen couldn't tell which one was Xiao Yui's internet cable in the room. It's all cut off. Liu Chen was ruthless, cut all the network cables. Then the game of Xiaowang Da entered its most intense moment. Suddenly, the network went down. He was swearing while constantly refreshing the page. However, it was of little use. Exernet is still not connected. After half an hour of continuous refreshing of the page, Xiaowang gave up completely. It seems that it is impossible to connect to the internet anymore today. This guy is happy. Luckily, I turned off the computer, dragged the rickety body to the bed. Xiaohong began to be dishonest after he went to bed, constantly fiddling with Xiaogan's shoulders, trying to move Red's body over. Little Red slept deeply. He was tired from a day's work. There is no other aspect of the nature in the slightest. Xiaohong also didn't care about Xiaogan's feelings. One mind arches to the other person, Xiaogan didn't even bother to open her eyes, instinctively resisted. He was so tired, I just want to get a good night's sleep. Xiaohong is very persistent in this regard, constantly encroaching on Xiaogan's territory. Finally, Xiaogan was completely annoyed. They instinctively kicked her Xiaohong gave up at this time. Opened the door and walked out of the room. Downstairs chess and card room, the bald old nine saw that her Xiaohong was coming. I took it in very warmly, since learning to play mahjong with the landlady. Xiaohong gradually accepted this kind of entertainment game. Sometimes I get tired of playing games. I came to play mahjong again to kill time. Anshin Group finally agreed to negotiate the acquisition again. His 10 people are not low-key. A huge expedition was sent. Come to the Longshan Hotel. There are 7 or 8 luxury cars alone. Wang Zongbiao, assistant to the chairman, the first thing to do when coming to the hotel, it's to meet Lu Chen. It shows how much attention is paid to Lu Chen. Lu Chen may return my umbrella. Wang Zongbiao said with a smile, Mr. Wang, I'm afraid your umbrella won't be able to pay it back. Lu Chen deliberately put on an embarrassed expression. How to say this, that's always the way the king goes. Lu Chen put the matter of fighting with 5 Shuai in the parking lot. Said it again, Wang Zongbiao laughed, reached out and patted Lu Chen's shoulder. The hotel's senior leaders sighed when they saw this. The security guard, how could he be so cared for by Assistant Wang? I can't read it, I really can't understand it. Someone secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, Lu Chen was promoted. Otherwise, I really can't explain it to Assistant Wang. Because of this kind of small things to buy the hotel big. It's been delayed, the gains outweigh the losses. It seems that it is correct to give Lu Chen a promotion. Extremely correct. The employees are even more envious. Xin, what great virtues did Lu Chen's ancestors accumulate? And let Lu Chen go this kind of unprecedented luck. The ancestral grave was smoking. No, even if the ancestral grave is smoking, I can't go this kind of shit luck. The ancestral grave is burning, and it is almost the same. Some employees got together and whispered Lu Chen's changes were too fast. I was looking at the gate in the parking lot the other day. In the blink of an eye, he became a middle-level leader. Something you can't dream of. Wang Zongbiao saw that Lu Chen served as the department manager. Very happy though, he thinks. The board of directors of the hotel is still small. Lu Chen is a person. It should be performed on a higher stage. The leaders of the hotel board of directors are on hand to accompany you. Listen to what Assistant Wan said. The eyeballs almost fell off. Lu Chen was appointed as the department manager. Proper mid-level leadership is not enough. What a big pattern to be worthy of him. Directly served as deputy general manager and general manager. As a middle-level leader in the hotel, Lu Chen participated in the whole process. The content of the work related to the inspection. This time the investigation was very detailed. It involves all aspects of hotel operation. Lu Chen could see it. Wang Zong is not the protagonist of this investigation. That young man is. Lu Chen found out later. The young man. He is the son of Chairman Xiao of Taiyanshan Group, Xiaoling ZHI. He is responsible for the acquisition. Xiaoling ZHI is the second oldest in the family. The room is called Xiao Ergen GZI. In the provincial capital, who doesn't know the name of the second son of Xiao? Accompanying Xiaoling ZA, was a tall figure, gorgeously dressed beauties. It should be his wife or secretary, Lu Chen later reported through the news. Confirmed that the beauty was Xiaoling ZHI's wife. He also has a distinguished family background. To that class marriage, it must be the right match. The hotel board put Zhao Linhai and his wife. It was arranged in the presidential suite on the top floor of the hotel. The Ministry of Security has sent a special force to patrol the floor. Stay safe, the so-called presidential suite. It is a room that is equipped according to the standard of the president's stay. The facilities inside are quite complete and luxurious. There is a hall with a bath. There is a presidential lounge. There is a lounge for the president's wife. There is the office of the president. There are also meeting rooms, babysitter rooms, bodyguard rooms, and more, even if there won't really be a president. Facilities inside, it is also configured according to the standards of the president. The presidential suite is of a very high grade, even more than a decade ago. It also costs more than 10,000 yuan for a night's stay. Those who can live in it are either rich or noble. Let's check in. Lu Chen didn't dare to be careless. With Li H.A. Yang, rounded the entire security situation of the hotel. Make sure nothing goes wrong. Li H.A. Yang was very grateful to Lu Chen. Dissidents are not excluded on the road to promotion, even for the sake of others. Such people are rare. It's worth socializing. Li H.A. Yang asked Lu Chen to rest. It's up to him, the executive manager, to arrange it as a department manager. Lu Chen has his own office, of course. He did not have an exclusivity. Instead, it was used with Li Hai Yang. The daily work of the security department is also arranged by Li Hai Yang. Lu Chen put himself on the back burner. The more he is like this, the more grateful Li Hai Yang became. Be more conscientious in your work. There was a knock at the door. Lu Qi said, "Please be quiet." Jia Zhao, you walked in with a smile. Asked Lu Chen if he had time at night. He wanted to go shopping. Lu Chen said that he has been very busy recently. Good tea dumplings are coming. How could the security department be idle? Once there is a problem, it will affect the acquisition process. Don't be a manager for him. Lu Chen, you just forgot about me as soon as you were promoted. Jia Xiao Yu pouted and said, "How can it be? No one can compare to our relationship." Lu Chen patted Jia Xiao's shoulders with both hands. Express comfort, so when you have time. It will take a few days, at least wait. The delegation left. Jia Xiaoyu was a little disappointed. Sullen gone. Lu Chen didn't go to Jia Xiaoyu in the past few days. She's too busy. There are also more and more job promotions, especially after the delegation came. The security department has become extremely busy. Lu Chen came to the monitoring room to check the situation. All the surveillance footage of the hotel is summarized here. The whole hotel has an unobstructed view. He didn't dare to be careless. Look at every tiny detail. Suddenly, Lu Chen found out there is no surveillance footage from the 10th floor. There is not a single picture of the entire 10th floor. Lu Chen broke out in a cold sweat. The monitoring blind spot is so big. What to do if something goes wrong? He immediately asked what was going on. Did you send someone to overhaul it? The security guard on duty slurred. There seems to be something hidden. Lu Chen severely reprimanded the security guard on duty. Such a large monitoring blind spot. Who is responsible if something goes wrong? Seeing that Lu Chen was really anxious, the security guard on duty told the truth. Surveillance on the 10th floor was cut off. Lu Chen asked why he pinched. "Why don't you inform yourself about such a big thing?" Said the security guard on duty. It was Liu Lei, the manager of the personnel department. Last to do this, Liu Lei said that the 10th floor will be renovated. There are no guests on the entire floor, so there's no need for monitoring. Lu Chen didn't blame the security guard on duty. This matter is not something that a security guard can control. The keel eyes on Liu Lei. What the hell did he want to do? Lu Chen felt that there was something wrong inside. Liu Lei is a person, not for no reason. Go and do something that has nothing to do with it. He asked for the security guard on duty, restored the surveillance footage on the 10th floor immediately. The security guard looked embarrassed that it couldn't be recovered because there is no password. You need to enter a password to control the console. Lu Chen immediately called Li Hai Yang as the host for the password to operate. Li Hai Yang said that he also did not have a password since the installation of monitoring. The control password has always been in Liu Lei's hands. It was not handed over to the Ministry of Security for so long. Once anything involves Liu Lei, there is certainly no good fruit. Lu Chen felt that something was going to happen. Liu Lei may be doing some kind of trick. Lu Chen didn't dare to slack off. I immediately took the elevator to the 10th floor. The hallway was empty, not a single figure. He was still not reassured, because he knows Liu Lei too well. This kid never does good things. Asked to turn off the monitoring screen. There must be something shady going on. I'd like to see what the hell is Liu Lei, this kid. Lu Chen secretly hid in the bathroom. Keep a close eye on every move outside. In the blink of an eye, it was the middle of the night. The elevator lights on the 10th floor on. A few people came to the 10th floor. Lu Chen looked out through the crack in the bathroom door. Several figures appeared in the hallway. Leader turned out to be Xiao Lingzi Hi, the second son of Taiyuan Group. Was accompanied by Yu Lei. Yu Lei has two bodyguards behind him carrying a waitress. I don't know why. A waitress stumbled on her feet. It seems to be delirious. Lu Chen secretly scolded Yu Lei. This guy really didn't do anything good. As the figure gradually approached, Lu Chen was taken aback. The waitress turned out to be Jia Xiaoyu. Jia Xiaoyu didn't know if she was drinking high or what happened. Extremely delirious. I can't even walk on my legs. He was carried forward by two bodyguards. The bodyguard is the personal bodyguard brought by Xiaoling Zhi. Not an employee of the hotel, Mima's Liu Lei. This kid began to be Jia Xiao's idea again. In order to please the second son, Xiao Lingzai, I did not hesitate to use this kind of indiscriminate means. Lu Chen was a little puzzled. Just got off work, Jia Xiaoyu also went to his office. Why was he targeted by Yu Lei again? Lu Chen didn't have time to take the test. Think about the details, because Jia Xiaoyu has been taken into a certain room, judging from the location of the room. It should be 1008 rooms when Lu Chen was a security guard. Always patrolling the floors, quite familiar with the rooms of the hotel. You don't have to look at the house number. You can guess the room number just by looking at the location. Jia Xiaoyu, who was unconscious, was taken to the guest room. You don't have to guess to know that there is more than one bad luck. Lu Chen was anxious, but I didn't want to go directly to smash the door. That would completely anger the second son. Xiaoling's invisibility cloak was also not around. The possibility of saving people directly was ruled out, but Jia Zhao, you must still be rescued. Lu Shen took out his mobile phone, dialed the landline of the presidential suite. As the manager of the security department, of course he knew the landline of the presidential suite. He also knew there are a total of 4 telephones in the presidential suite. 1 meeting room, office 1, a bedroom for the president's wife, a presidential bedroom. Lu Shen dialed the phone from the president's bedroom. If nothing else, Xiaolin's Hai's wife should practice inside. After the female voice beeped, the call went through. It's a woman's voice. That's right. It's Xiaoling Zhou, Ying Zihi's wife. Rest for time, Lu Qin made a long story short. Mr. Xiaoling Zihi is in room 1008 on the 10th floor. He'll hurry over, otherwise something big will happen. The phone suddenly became nervous. Asked who Lu Chen is. Lu Chen did not answer. Instead, asked the other party to come as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable if it is not done well. It will also affect the reputation of Tianjin Group. Didn't wait for the other party to ask any more questions. Lu Chen hung up the phone directly. The next thing is to waiting for Xiaoling Zihi's wife to appear. For Lu Chen, every second is extraordinarily long. He couldn't have waited too long, because Jia Xiaoyu can't afford to wait in a short period of time. Lu Chen made many assumptions. What if Xiaoling Zihi's wife doesn't come? Or maybe it's a step too late. Or Xiaoling Zihi's wife is here, but I don't care about it. Lu Chen was secretly anxious. I knew it was so. The cloak should be worn on the body. Less than a minute, a woman in the company of a nanny appears in the hallway on the 10th floor. It is Xiaoling Zihi's wife. Lu Chen let out a sigh of relief. There's still time. 1008 room door. Liu Lei arranged everything, just came out of the room. He blinded the 2 bodyguards. It means that you can leave. That's when it happened. Xiaoling Zihi's wife appeared at the door. This is a wise woman. No need to ask. In 1 sentence, I have guessed the general idea of the matter. Liu Lei smiled awkwardly. I wanted to say a few kind words. The mouth is not open yet. First received a slap in the face. There was a crisp sound in the silent hallway. Xiaoling Zihi is not in it, the woman asked in a voice. Liu Lei hesitated. I didn't know how to answer for a while. I'll ask you, didn't you hear me? Xiaoling Zihi is not inside Hi's wife. He was angry. Liu Lei knew that he couldn't hide it. I had to nod. Is another slap in the face. Liu Lei covered his face. The atmosphere did not dare to come out. Liu Lei covered his face. Embarrassed, he is self-aware. Can't stay any longer. If you stay any longer, you'll have to be slapped in the face. He ran away with 2 bodyguards but didn't chase them away. Here, Xiaoling Zihi's personal bodyguards will not leave anyway. Xiaoling Zihi's wife ignored the 2 bodyguards, raised his foot and kicked the door hard. Knock, knock. The voice was muffled and violent. The door opened quickly. Xiaoling Zihi looked angry. Every time I was disturbed, he held his breath. But when I saw someone standing at the door, he lost his temper in an instant. It is true that he is the second son of Tianjin Group. The focus of high power is true, but his wife's background is not simple. There is also a big group behind it in front of his wife. Xiaoling don't dare to make a mistake. What are you doing here? The woman asked in a stern tone. Xiaoling Zihi didn't know how to answer. Go back with me. The woman didn't press on. Saved face for Xiaoling Zihi. Under the supervision of Madame, Xiaoling Zihi left in a huff. Lu Chen came to room 1008. Let's see if Xiaoyu is safe and sound. I just let him rest here. Lu Chen locked the door. Continue your tour of the hotel. The next edition continued. Xiaoling Zihi, the second son who was still kind yesterday. Today's temper is surprisingly short-tempered. It doesn't look good everywhere. There was nothing in the entire hotel that satisfied him. Xiaoling Zihi's attitude is very abnormal. This has cast a shadow over the acquisition negotiations. The management of the entire hotel is submissive for fear of angering this second son of Xiao. The expedition lasted 3 days. All departments should be inspected. From the hotel lobby to the housekeeping department. From the food and beverage department to the security department. From the logistics department to the personnel department. Every department is careful. I'm afraid that there will be problems in my links. Inspecting the security department was Wang Zongbiao, assistant to the chairman. He had a good impression of Lu Chen. Praise was given in all respects. Wang Zongbiao told Lu Chen, do a good job once the acquisition is successful, definitely playing tricks on him further. The expedition is finally over. A reception dinner was arranged. It can be regarded as a send-off for the delegation. Xiaoling Zihi's wife did not attend. They went back to the group beforehand. There is no wife to supervise. Some of Xiaoling Zihi's careful thoughts began to be eager to try again. Things were disturbed that day. You have to make it up before you leave. Tears saw Xiaoling Zihi's thoughts. At the banquet, a few beautiful waitresses were specially arranged to accompany them. Jia Zhaoyu was also named as a middle-level leader in the hotel. Lu Chen also attended the banquet. In his capacity, of course, it is impossible to be at the same table with Xiaoling Zhao H.I. I'm Xiaoling ZH. I was accompanied by senior leaders of the hotel. Chairman, General Manager, Deputy General Manager, Major Shareholder, etc. Yu Lei is the lowest level. Originally, Yu Lei was not qualified to share the table with Xiaoling ZHI. It was Zhao Ergen who asked Liu Lei to accompany him. It's also a great honor. Liu Lei ran forward and backward like a pug. Carefully served the second son of Zhao. Liu Lei, this guy is very good at psychophoncy. In just a few days, he was appreciated by Xiao Ergen GZI. Right at the same table with Lu Chen, they were all members of the delegation. Although it is a member of the class in Tianjin Group, he can also be called a middle-level leader. All in all, people who can attend this banquet all have certain qualifications and status. Lu Chen saw that Jia Zhaoyu was also there. I couldn't help frowning. There is a lesson from the previous time. Lu Chen was very worried about Jia Zhaoyu. In front of Xiaolin's high-end Yu Lei, Jia Zhaoyu, it is like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. It seems that today will not be easy again. The burden of protecting Jia Zhaoyu has to fall on himself. Lu Chen was in no mood to eat. I can't eat the delicacies of the mountains and the sea in front of me. I've been paying attention to Jia Zhaoyu's every move. The banquet ends. Xiaoling ZH. I returned to the presidential suite with the support of his bodyguards. Liu Lei found. Zhao Ergen GZI's coat fell in the banquet hall. Asked Jia Zhaoyu to send the clothes back to the presidential suite. Jia Zhaoyu didn't think much about it. I took my clothes and went straight to the presidential suite on the top floor. Lu Chen saw it clearly in the surveillance. Knowing that something was going to happen, Liu Lei. This guy didn't have a good heart. It is estimated that he colluded with Xiaoling ZHI. Jia Zhaoyu went to the presidential suite to deliver clothes. There must be no return. Xiaoling ZH, I didn't succeed last time. This time my wife is not there. It became blatant. Directly moved the battlefield to the presidential suite. Lu Chen quickly changed into an invisibility cloak. Rush to the presidential suite as fast as you can. Time waits for no one. You'll have to be in Jia. Xiaoyu arrived before she arrived. And it was definitely too late to wait for the elevator. Lu Chen ran all the way down the stairs, from the 8th floor to the 20th floor. Lu Chen used all his strength to run wildly. When Lu Chen rushed to the door of the presidential suite, Jia Zhaoyu hasn't come up yet. He crouched in the corner, panting. It was too desperate just now. The body is in a state of extreme hypoxia. There are bodyguards at the door. In order not to cause trouble, Lu Chen tried to keep his panting sound as low as possible. Efforts are made to control the exchange of gases between the lungs and the outside world. It's like a boulder pressed against your chest. The elevator doors open. Jia Zhaoyu walked out with a piece of clothing in her hand. The bodyguard verifies that it is correct with a walkie-talkie. Jia Zhaoyu entered the presidential suite. Lu Chen followed. I followed in. The presidential suite is huge. Occupies almost the entire floor. The facilities inside are quite complete. There is a bathroom and a small meeting room. There is a security room. There is the president's wife's room. There are presidential bedrooms. There is also a maid's room and office. People who are not familiar with the situation really can't tell where to come in. Yes, Xiaoling ZH, I was making tea in the hall. It is a housekeeping attendant who is cleaning up the room. Everything seems normal. Jia Zhaoyu put down her clothes. By the way, Mr. Zhao is good. Xiaoling Zai naturally wouldn't let Jia Zhaoyu leave. Excuse, it's a bit messy in the office. Let her clean up. It stands to reason. This kind of thing should be done by the waiter in the housekeeping department. But since Xiaoling ZH I commanded, Jia Zhaoyu can only do the opposite. Go out first. I'm going to rest. Xiaoling ZH, I sent the waiter in the housekeeping department away. In the huge presidential suite, only Xiaoling ZH and Jia Zhaoyu remained. Xiaoling ZH, I poured 2 cups of tea, put some medicinal noodles in one of the cups. Then stir gently. Lu Chen saw it clearly from the side. The heart said that it was another trick. Do people with bad intentions use this method? She had planned to take advantage of it. Xiaoling ZH, I didn't pay attention. Swap the 2 cups of tea. Let's have a graft. But I never had a chance to do it. Xiaoling ZH, I never left the tea table. Jia, you cleaned up the office. Bid farewell to Xiaoling ZHI. Xiaoling ZHI smiled and nodded, said very satisfied. He took out a red envelope, handed it to Jia Zhaoyu. No, this is a reward for you. You've been doing well these days. I'm satisfied. Jia Zhao, you was a litter I wanted to refuse. Because the hotel has regulations in this regard, gratuities are not allowed. But today, he faltered. Because the thickness of the red envelope is too large. It was much beyond Jia Zhiwo's bearing. Take it. This is my reward for you. No one has the right to interfere. Xiaolin's Hai said quite magnificently undomineering lie. Jia Zhaoyu completely dispelled his concerns, reached out and took the red envelope. Thank you, Mr. Zhao. Xiaoling ZH pointed to a cup of tea on the table. Let Jia Zhao, you drink a cup of tea before leaving. In the identity of Xiaoling ZH, I able to take the initiative for tea for ordinary waiters. It is a great honor for Jia Zhaoyu. He had no reason to refuse. Besides, the read envelopes have been received. A cup of tea is nothing. Jia Zhaoyu said thank you. Grab the tea and drink it all. Lu Chen was in a hurry in secret. There's no way to keep yourself exposed. I can only endure it. Zhao Lin's high nodded with satisfaction. Let Jia Zhaoyu sit down. Jia Zhaoyu had no choice but to sit down. I don't know what to say. It looks awkward. It's also very reserved. Xiao Lin's high poured another cup of tea. Handed it to Jia Zhaoyu. Tell him not to rush. Taste it slowly. This is the best of tea. You have to taste it slowly to taste the taste. Over time, Jiao Jiwo's mental state is getting worse and worse. In the end, he was completely unconscious. Xiao Lin's high showed a wicked smile on his face. He put Jia Zhaoyu on the sofa in the hall. Looks like I don't even plan to go to the bedroom. The two hands began to unbutton Jia Jiwo's clothes. The front desk attendants' overalls are professional suits. There are only two clasps. Xiao Lin's eye, easily amid Jia Jiwo's coat. Inside is a white shirt. There are more buttons. Zhao Ling ZHI is worthy of being a veteran. There is no hurry at all in the face of the prey in front of you. Slowly unbuttoned his shirt, he had a smile on his lips. Seems to enjoy the process of peeling eggshells. The journey is secretly anxious. Originally planned to secretly rescue Jia Zhaoyu, now it seems that it will not work. Despite it, there are also some rat throwers after all. This time he was facing the second son of the Xiao family. The status is extremely noble. Lu Chen can beat the male landlord without any scruples. Beating may not be evenly lay. But Xiaoling ZHI as an exception really beat him to a pig's head. Half the city has to be fried. Xiaoling ZHI continued to unbutton Jia Jiwo's shirt. The movements are skillful and slow. The underwear inside is faint. Xiaoling's eye. I shook his head for a while. It seems to be very intoxicated as means and surveillance. It's definitely much better than the proof in the Bold Old Nine. Even if the prey is in front of you, there is no mess of proportion. Jia Zhaoyu seemed to feel something wrong instinctively. He moved his body. Xiaoling ZHI began to take off the other party's shoes. The hotel also has a requirement for shoes for female employees, either black leather shoes, either black cloth shoes. Jia Jiwo's black cloth shoes were thrown into the corner. Lu Chen finally couldn't help it. There is no better solution with glasses. You can only do it. He lunged at the end of his lunge. Aimed at Xiaoling ZHI's cheek and raised his fist, Lu Chen didn't intend to show mercy to his subordinates. Now that you have chosen to do it, you have to fight steadily. You can't look ahead and backward. So Lu Chen used all his strength. The fist whistled away with the sound of the wind. Steadily slapped Xiaoling ZHI in the face. There was a muffled snort. Xiaoling ZHI's eyes rolled. Fainted directly. How did this end? Lu Chen also began to panic. After all, it was the second son of the dignified Taishan group who was stunned. There are bodyguards standing guard outside the door. It's a problem to even get out of it. Not to mention Jia Zhaoyu, who is still unconscious. Lu Chen sat on the sofa, thinking about what to do next. After thinking about it, I decided to make a big deal out of it. The bigger the matter, the more it will ensure Jiwo's safety. He set up the scene first, then used the landline phone in the room. Called the hotel front desk. The waiter in the hotel lobby called. When he saw the presidential suite, don't dare to slack off. It was connected immediately. Hello, is there anything I need to serve you? The front desk clerk asked politely. There was no answer on the other side of the phone. Hello, is there anything I need to serve you? The waiter asked again. That's what you think of me, not even a small department manager. The same cannot be said either. I hope you are doing well too. I hope you get ahead. But we have to recognize the reality. They are all small people struggling at the bottom of the pyramid. It's easier said than done to cross classes. Lu Chen was a little deflated. Well, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Within 1 year, I'm going to let you see for yourself what it means to cross classes. Lu Chen asked Jia Zhaoyu, do you have time to watch a movie together in the evening to relieve boredom? Jia Zhaoyu said that she has been very tired lately, not in the mood to watch a movie. Lu Chen was not reluctant. Jia Zhaoyu is gone. The back is a little silent. Look at each other's backs. Lu Chen suddenly felt that Jia Zhaoyu was very strange. This is the lively and cheerful one I know, motivated Zhaoyu. Himself was demoted in the end. It's because of him. Hey, Lu Chen let out a long sigh. The personnel department decided to transfer Lu Chen back to the parking lot. Continue looking at the gates. Li Hai Yang, the executive manager of the security department, objected. There are many positions in the security department. Why does Lu Chen have to take care of the parking lot? Yule believes that Lu Chen is the most suitable to take care of the parking lot. How much ability to do a lot of things. Lu Chen can only be in the parking lot in his life. Lu Chen has no particular resistance to this arrangement island. Think of it as magic. People grow more easily in the face of adversity. It is also easier to see people's hearts. Late summer and early autumn, the temperature in the morning was a little cooler. Lu Chen stood in the middle of the parking lot, look up at the tall and magnificent main hotel building. I was working upstairs yesterday. There are even separate offices. Overnight, I came to the parking lot again, engaged in the lowest level of the entire hotel. The world is unpredictable. What is Brother Lu looking at? A voice asked. Lu Chen looked back. It's the security guard Zhao Yu, so he asked Zhao Yu. Find me something. Zhao Yu looked around and saw no one. Fang just said, Brother Lu. Manager Lee, let me tell you, don't be discouraged. Wait for the limelight to pass. He'll reassign you to a new position. Don't think about it. Lu Chen couldn't help but be happy. The heart said that this Li Yang also underestimated himself too much. At this time, Gao Life swaggered to the parking lot. Look at this posture is coming to Lu Chen. Till you saw Gao Life, I coming over, quickly slipped away. There are a few security guards who are not afraid of Gao Life. Lu Chen came early today. Not bad. The spirit is still commendable. Let's just say the parking is for you. Gao Life, I said with a grin. Yes, look at the parking lot is a good job. I'm going to do it today. Maybe tomorrow you'll do it, in the face of Gao Life Eye's provocation. Lu Chen didn't get used to her. Oh, yes, I waited for that day. Gao Life Eye had a gloomy face. I didn't expect Lu Chen to come to this point. Dare to talk back to yourself. Rest assured that it won't be too long. Lu Chen's tone was full of contempt. Gao Life, I was completely furious. Lu Chen, it's still too late for you to admit your mistakes. I don't remember villains. I might be able to let you go. You're so obsessed. I can't let you eat and walk around. Admit your mistakes with you. Gao Li-Fi, don't treat herself too much. I don't even pay attention to your cousin's tears. How much more so you? Gao Li-Fi's lips trembled with anger. It's good that you have a hard mouth. I'm not here to argue with you.